Oh, I should make my coffee. Start the coffee. Don't forget. Orca. Hey, Nick. Nick, what's up? You made it first? Orca second. Right on, guys. Holly Hornay. Hello, Holly. You guys ready for this debate? Jackson Hinkle's about to go live. Sam Seder's already live. He's got some guy on there he's interviewing right now. I'll just let you see what's going on over there. We'll go over here. You can see Jackson's. We've got the chats up there. We've got Jackson's channel up. And Sam Seder's already gone live. And I went over to Sam Seder and I said, Jackson Hinkle is going to shred this dude. I went in there. I talked some shit. Captain Dapper, what's up? That is, you came over from another channel, I remember, Captain Dapper, to get onto Twitch. Now you're on Twitch watching. Did you watch So We Won't Have To? No, it hasn't started yet, Holly. The debate's in a half hour. We're going to watch it live. Can't wait. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome, Nick. It's my pleasure, man. I'm excited. Excited to bring you this. I hope everything is coming through clear. Oh, I got to hit record. There we go. I got to record the show. My coffee's ready. Let me go grab it. All right. Coffee. My cafe. Okay. Great. All right, man. This should be cool. Jackson Hinkle should be going live in 1 minute. He should be going live right now. It's kind of exciting. Oh, this freaking coffee is perfect. I want all of you to know. Not cool. Okay. Sharing. We blinked out there for a second. What's the debate about? It's about the fraud squad. Jackson Hinkle is going to be arguing that the squad is ineffective and has used us to get their positions, and they're not doing anything politically to help any of their constituents. And Sam Seder is going to say that the squad is just waiting for the right moment before they're waiting to gain power so that they can make something happen. And now's the wrong time. And Jackson's going to be arguing that the time is now, and what the fuck else are we waiting for? And this is why I support Jackson Hinkle and I don't support Sam Seder. This is a very good separation between the two of them, and you can understand why I have, you know, stopped watching Sam years ago and now I watch Jackson Hinkle. You know, this debate is going to lay down one of those lines for you guys. Mr. 8, I'm jealous. Holly, make yourself some coffee then. Do you guys like my hair up or do you like it down? What do you like better? I look like I got short hair right now, huh? Almost. Like that. I have a little body up top. I like a little body in my hair. If I had short hair, it'd be like, you know, look like that kind of. Short hair. I guess I haven't been following stuff. I don't know what the fraud squad is, but I'm here for it. That's the squad from the Washington. It's AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, there's two others at least. There might be more. There might be 6 of them. There's a guy and 2 other women, I believe. They've been elected and they're doing nothing for the progressives. They went elected as progressives and they've done nothing progressive. They haven't passed any legislation. They haven't put anything on the line. They haven't worked at all. They just go on Twitter and say, oh, we need this and oh, we want that and blah, blah, blah. But they don't actually use their political power to do anything. And, you know, all Jackson Hinkle has to say is, what have they done for us so far? And then what Sam's like is, you're going to have to be patient. That's going to be the whole argument, I think. They do tons of empty ranting that gets nothing done. Ayanna Pressley. What's the guy's name? It's Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna's the guy, right, in the squad. And then there's another woman. Her name is I forget her name, but she's really famous, man, because she goes crazy. She puts up videos. Like she had this video of her with a whole bunch of bags of something in her car. And she was like, this is how much blah, 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 blah. And I can't remember what was in her car. Jamal Bowman. Oh, my bad. It's not Ro Khanna. It's Jamal Bowman. My bad, guys. My bad. Thank you, Holly. I can't remember the other woman's name. I thought there was another woman in there, but I can't believe Jackson's late for a show, man. Come on, Jackson. Tardy. Watch this. Someone wake Jackson up. Someone wake Jackson up. I put that in the chat. Jamal Bowman. Yeah, I don't know about Jamal Bowman. I don't know who that is. That doesn't sound right to me. I don't know that guy. I don't know that guy. He doesn't exist. They're still talking to this guy, David Pepper. You guys like that I've got both channels on? I thought that was pretty cool. The debate's going to be on both of those channels. Man, Sam's got 3,100 viewers and Jackson's got 400 about, and he hasn't even started yet. Jackson hasn't even fired up yet. Show. Fires up the show. He's literally got 350 people waiting. From upstate New York, replaced Elliot Engel. Ah, okay, Holly. Jamal Bowman. Okay. And Rokana is not in the squad. My bad. What was that other woman's name? I can't remember. I can't remember her name. Powell? Something Powell or something? Maybe. Debate with Nate. Holly. Jackson's waiting for more viewers. Oh, please. No, he's not. Jackson doesn't need to wait for more viewers. He's got 350 people waiting right now. Just fine. How dare you be late to your own show? How dare you, Jackson Hinkle? How dare you, good sir? Jackson's going to fucking wipe Sam Cedar. Here we go.
Tired? Welcome back to the dive, everybody. This is going to be a historic live stream. Here's your intro.
Patriotic socialist. All one in the jack can be in common on the left and the right. That's what scares the establishment more than anything, Danny boy. You know this. They won't fight for Medicare for all. They won't fight for common costs. They won't fight for housing for all. They won't fight for a damn thing. Unless it means that it's going to be further in their careers in the Democratic Party.
All right. How's it going, everybody?
Yay.
This is the day.
Dude, I'm so excited.
Much for joining me here.
I'm
Good
so
to see
excited.
all of you in the chat. It's going to be an exciting day, folks. Exciting day. Christopher, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hey, Stephen Breyer just announced that he's going to be retiring this week. I just saw that right before I went live. Stephen Breyer is going to be retiring this week. Breaking news. Radical Leftist Agenda, thank you for the super chat.
Love you, Danny boy.
And thank you so much, by the way, for the
Danny boy.
The very generous Venmo donation, and thank you also to I think that was the only one. Maybe there was there was a PayPal one I missed.
I super chatted him.
William Linares, thank you so much for the PayPal donation. So, folks, today is the day. It's a big day. I'm very excited. The debate is going to be my challenging of Sam Ceder's continued support for the squad and progressives in Congress, and the fact that I believe that they are sellouts. Aspen Fallen, thank you for the super chat.
Thanks for bringing the beard back, Danny boy. Smiling face.
Nays Garden, thank you so much.
So excited, FORYOU. Wipe the floor with him.
I will.
Yeah.
So listen, folks. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is quite literally the old guard versus the new guard. This is about a new transition.
You see the smile on my face, man? I'm so excited.
Right?
This is like a UFC fucking Grand Royale.
Happening in real time.
This is like,
about,
your favorite
this
fucking, it's like your favorite fighter going up against a guy you hate the most.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. Kelly, thank you for the super chat.
Let's go, Danny boy. You got this.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Lotto Mifi, thank you for resubscribing. Appreciate it. Thank you for. I'm gonna have during the debate. I'm gonna have to
turn off the super chats.
You guys are just so generous, but
hey, I don't know how he could get anything said. With that thing interrupting him constantly.
All of the super chats and everything.
I got mine in there early.
but just during the stream, I'll be turning them off.
I got mine in there early. Ha ha ha.
Kate, thank you for the super
The
chat.
live looks fuzzy.
Just troll him, Danny Boy Grimace.
Just troll him, Danny boy.
Brocheless, thank you so much.
Good
Guys.
luck, man.
Is it fuzzy, guys? Is my stream fuzzy?
This is the political realignment happening in real time because there's still, unfortunately, due to a large segment of
I could turn off Sam
the
Cedar.
left. Epic guys, thank you for following.
I should have enough download.
Plus, thank
No,
you
it shouldn't be
for,
fuzzy at
taking the
all.
sub. Appreciate you. There's still a large portion of the left that still believes in the squad, right? Still believes in their
Yes,
bullshit.
it's very important to hear.
Identity
Look, will one of you please answer me and tell me if the stream is fuzzy? Oh, thank you.
Party with
Anybody else? Can anybody else tell me too?
Achieving substance.
I don't know why. I'm not uploading a bunch of
Shane,
shit.
thank you for the super chat. But the matter is, we know that that's not the case. We know that the squad could have blocked not just one vote. It wasn't just the speakership vote. They could have blocked a large number of must-pass bills, and they chose not to.
All right, that's important that I know that, guys.
It had the the amount of votes.
People aren't going to watch if it's fuzzy.
We know that the squad has voted for and supported.
Thank you, Enoch, for telling me.
Anti-progressive bills. They have acted at the behest.
No, I'm gonna turn off Sam Cedar. I'm turning off Sam Cedar. We don't need that on.
Possibly the worst of all is their silence in the face of Biden's war. Sean, thank you for the super chat.
Listener back to Air America. They pretty much only listen to you now. That means something.
Dude, what happened, man? Turn this off too? What is going on, man? I mean, I should have plenty of bandwidth. It's plenty of fucking bandwidth. This is all. Uh-oh. Am I still live?
Hey, thank you.
Okay, cool.
Shane, thank you for the super chat again.
Hey bro, it's Green New Deal now. I sent the IM to SEDER and said you wanted to debate him. Good luck, we believe in you.
Oh, you're the one who sent it, Shane?
Nice.
No way.
That's the guy who
Thank you.
put the offer out there for the debate, man. It's really cool.
Twitch people, I'm changing the title. Thank you.
No, I'm on Elon Musk's Starlink. It works pretty goddamn good. I was surprised I was having an issue, actually.
Jay, appreciate you.
Can you guys please tell me if it's cleared up?
Thank you. Mandatory BS, thank you so much.
Sam Cedar Smugness, January 26th, 22. May it
Smugness.
rest in peace.
Can you guys tell me if it's clear or not,
We're gonna have fun today.
please?
So,
Can anybody answer
debate
me?
starts in a few minutes. We're starting at 10 a.m., so 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And we're going to be live for a while after the debate.
Yeah, it'll come. It'll come
The debate's
eventually.
going to last about an hour, I believe.
Can anybody tell me if it's clear? But the audio is syncing better
Yeah,
now.
10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Kindle Links, thank you for the super chat.
And I turned off so
Ask
much
Sam,
stuff.
when will he expect progressive reps to challenge the status
That's
quo?
better. Thank you for telling me.
Well, according to him, they'll probably just manifest it eventually because it's not going to happen as a result of him criticizing them because that doesn't work and that's mean.
I don't know why my
That's
fucking
very
CPU
mean
is.
behavior. Even though, of course, we have him on the record saying just the opposite. We have him on the record saying stuff like, the more of a stink that we make, the easier it is for progressives to leverage it because they can simply say, look, now I have my own domestic pressures. And he said, that's why I think it's a good idea to do this. We have him on the record.
We're good?
folks.
An important show, and it figures I do an important show, and it fucking starts fucking up. That's the thing that gets me so angry. It's not y'all. It's just the fact
You
that
can
it's
push
a
House
fucking.
members to leverage their votes. It is worth right now tweeting at some of the top progressives, people who were
It's a fucking timing thing.
SWAT in the Congressional Progressive Caucus.
If it's gonna
Woodland,
fuck
thank you
up,
so much for
why does it fuck up when I'm doing like the biggest show of the fucking week? And how many viewers am I going to lose that watch this in the future that don't want to see a blurry goddamn broadcast and don't realize it clears up halfway through, you know, before the debate even started? Fucking angers the fuck out of me. And
What happened that made Sam?
And I don't even know what the fuck's causing the problem.
Good question. Good question. I don't think anyone really knows.
Beardless look. Thank you, Suave. I'm so.
I don't think anyone really knows.
Thank you, Captain Dapper.
Give me 1 second here.
I do have an extra page open. I can get rid of that. OneDrive is closed. Yeah, I don't use OneDrive. Exit that. I don't have anything else running.
RD Doctor, thank you for the super
He will
chat.
probably argue a greater idea of struggle bigger than class leads back to the Dems.
Sure, thank you for the super chat.
So he expect them to grow a spine?
Usher Bonapal, thank you so much.
Today's scam will learn. You can't wrinkle the hinkle.
You can't wrinkle the hinkle.
I think they're in for a rude awakening. I don't know if he knows me, but
Oh, he will after today. He's gonna know you after today,
all that
son.
was said about me on the live stream was that I was a communist.
Yeah,
and I wanted
fuck
to
him.
debate him.
Fuck him.
So,
Oh, look at that. That makes the check.
I mean, if you've never seen me debate before, if you've never seen what I'm capable of, then I don't really see it going well for him.
Don't really see it going well.
Tuning in, debate is starting in 13 minutes.
I have never heard anybody enunciate their T's more than Jackson Hinkle does. He spends so much energy on his T pronunciation. Every T, you hear every T in every word that he says, and it's like a perfect pronunciation. And I can't talk like that. I just can't. It doesn't come out that
He's
way.
obsessed with Jimmy because of the debate he had with Jimmy in 2016. I thought that debate was pretty
Debate.
amicable. It was like they were kind of fine with each other. It wasn't very aggressive. Iceman Van, thank you for the super chat.
Bruh, Sam is light work. His only defense is gonna be, if not the squad, then who?
Anthony, thank you for the super chat.
Squad lacks his integrity. Say one thing, vote another.
Super Platinoman, thank
Sam
you.
owned Jimmy Dore in that debate. That's when Jimmy lost me. He's now a right-winger pushing anti-vax message.
Hey, I vehemently disagree with you, but I will happily take when you send it. Thank you.
Damn. Hey man, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is an anti-vaxxer.
In fact, if you want to send more criticisms of Jimmy Dore and send me more money, go for it.
He's so comfortable and smug after 2 decades of
Education, dude, I want to do it.
Debates for press.
I want to be like Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Thank
says
you, Sean.
5G is taking our data.
Good luck on
They're rob us of our data and our
effortless.
and to spy on us. Do you agree with that? Because that's who Jimmy Dore has on his
Reality
show.
is on your side. Stick to the facts. All Sam has is strawman gaslighting and lies. He's
Thank
in
you.
over his head.
Thank you, Trinaballer, and thank you, Stay Human. Appreciate you.
We got a lot of time before this debate starts. 40 minutes. God, Sam Seder's going live for a while before the debate starts.
Tag Derb, thank you so much.
Wow. I'm ready for a dab.
Steven, appreciate you.
Dude, you're gonna convert so many libs. F Sam up.
Yeah, that's true. I hope.
Destroy him, Danny boy.
Thank you, Cool Jammy, and thank you, RD Doctor.
The science of ML greater than the cope of left liberalism.
Yeah, I woke up on time
Ooh, that's
today. Very happy about that. I also got a workout in, so I'm feeling good. Got a workout, got my coffee. I don't think I could be feeling any better right now. By the way, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. I do live streams every single day. So You know, if you like this sort of content, if you like seeing Sam Seder get wrecked in debates, if you like general lefty or, you know, populist commentary, news analysis, be sure to subscribe. We are 900 subscribers away from 30,000. It is insane to me that in just a year of live streaming, we're already almost at 30,000 subscribers. Truly appreciate all of you. Joe, thank you so much for the super chat.
Nina Turner is running again. It could come up. Good luck. You're going to steal some MP viewers.
Nina fucking Turner. Shane, thank you for the super chat.
Fuck Nina Turner.
Sam is going to lead the libs to the Capitol on January 6th to fight for more mask mandates and lockdowns.
Probably. Devotion Orange, thank you so much.
No law regarding
Subscribe or
fucking
Dem
Nina
liberals
Turner.
now.
Cheers.
There is no squad. Therefore, Sam can no longer even refer them as progressives for argument's sake.
Huh. What have they
Yeah.
done? Name one thing they've done. Ask Sam to name one thing the squad has accomplished. Cheers.
John, thank you for the super chat. I still love it that we have the little AOC victory highlight video GIF as the alert. I'm going to keep that forever.
This super chat's going to be funny. LFG, Danny Boy. It's coming up.
All right, we're 8 minutes and counting. JC, thank you for the super chat.
Who needs luck when you have skill? Wreck him.
Thank you, JC. Appreciate you. H-Tax, thank you so much for the generous contribution.
This is going to be huge. A lot of people are going to be covering this debate. If you stay to the facts, you will win over a lot of people and gain a ton of new subs. Good LUCJK from your big Detroit homie.
Hey, thank you, H-Tax. Vera, thank you so much for the super chat.
Holy shit.
Nina Turner's running again. AOC is going to start tweeting about Medicare for all again, even though she only tweeted about it twice over the past year. Jimmy Dore.
Nice new skirt.
Let's go. Let's go. Thank you. Horax, thank you for the super chat.
LFG Danny Boy, all I see is ones in the chat. Do it for the Gorillas and Sons. Bring that GIGACHAD energy, bro. Woo.
Type a 1 in chat if you think Sam is about to get wrecked. I need to see the sport. Type a 1 in chat if you think Sam's about to get wrecked. Only ones in the chat. I see only ones in the chat. God. You guys are too good. Benjamin, thank you for the super chat.
I hope everybody has a nice time and is still friends at the end.
Because I'm such good friends with Sam right now, right?
Sam is way in over his head on this one.
Thank you, Orvo. I agree. I think it's going to go very poorly for
They
him.
fucking declined my goddamn credit.
Ones in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
Members wanted to withhold their votes for the first COVID bill unless the $15 wage was put back.
Yep.
Pramila organized against them.
Yep. Jimmy, thank you for the super chat.
If they hashtag FTV will become speaker, I swear to God.
Jimmy, thank you, Tactical Taco. Appreciate you.
I am interested to see what happens with this debate. It's hard to believe Sam would take this debate if he knew what he was up against.
I agree.
I should super chat
Nick,
at Jimmy Dore.
So much.
Hey, Jimmy Dore.
How much you want to
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says
he's
that
not good.
5G is here to
Daniel, thank you for the
spy
super
on
chat.
us.
Give him hell, Jackson.
And what was
Show
the other
him
thing?
what you
Spy on
got.
us and
Will do. I
Okay.
appreciate you.
Fuck. I forgot what Robert.
Libby,
So
8,000.
crazy, I forgot what it was
It's
he
Mr.
said.
Steel Yo audience. Expose the squad.
I will. Platitude Platypus. Thank you.
You're
One.
attempting to
Only
support
one.
an unapproved
Only one.
progressive, right?
Default. Thank you so much.
Give him PTSD flashbacks to his BJGF TV debate.
I think you're gonna see something worse than that here. Yoo! Thank you for the gifted subs. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. You guys.
Look how much,
RD Doctor. Thank
what's
you
all
so
the money
much for
coming
super-
in,
You
man?
should debate someone with Caleb Maupin.
I'd love to.
Today is my birthday partying face.
Yo, happy birthday, Vera. Thank you so much for the super chat. Bro Kelly, thank you.
He's
for,
got 800
gifted subs.
viewers now.
You guys,
Here we go.
we got 1,000 people watching already.
3
If you're
minutes.
watching on YouTube, drop a like. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a like. We have over 1,000 people watching. 18 minutes in, 1,000
That's
people
something dire
watching.
to tell
Drop
Jimmy.
a
It
like
might
on
take a
YouTube.
while. It goes like this.
How many
Fuck you,
likes do we have
Jimmy.
right now? What are we sitting at? 300 something? We can get that
Maybe.
number up. We can get that. If you think I'm about to wreck this shit, drop a like.
New viewer, and I found your content refreshing in this totally insane world. Give Sam the business.
Hey, Shagsworth, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy to have you here.
Fuck yeah.
Jay, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Means a lot. You guys are so generous. Thank you.
I want to try another super chat. I'm so fucking
I'd
angry
say
about my fucking
speechless with
card.
all the support, but I've been preparing for this for a while, and the only thing I want to do right now is talk. I only want to debate.
I'm gonna try to fix my credit card problem. I want to say in the super chat, I want to say it's a sprinkle of Hinkle to beat Sam Seder in this debate. That's what I want to fucking super chat, motherfucker. I'll get it ready to go.
Danny boy, let's fucking go.
Thank you, Ross. Appreciate you. CB Applejack, thank you so much.
You deserve to debate someone with more merit, but seeing Scam Seder go down is fine with me. Dropped a like for the algorithm.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You, 22.
I'm gonna try to do it again. Yeah.
Windows Robes, thank you for becoming a member here on YouTube.
Oh, I think it's gonna let it go through this time.
Bullet Tooth Tony, thank you for
Greenwald
the super chat.
his dumb base.
Your card has been declined.
Sabby Sabs, thank you.
Don't forget Jackson. The squad took billionaire money too.
It's like Soros money. It's the worst of all. Thank you.
You're Jake Paul and Cedar as Nate Robinson.
I respect that. Thank you. Thank you, Johnny Hill. Appreciate
Because
you.
the truth is on your side. I bet $1 that he throws out tons of statistics and numbers.
Probably will, yeah.
I think it worked.
All right, it's 10. I'm gonna Les Bones. Thank you so much.
Don't
for the
turn it
super
off.
chat
Wait,
and
no, no,
turning
no.
off the alerts.
Don't turn off the alert yet.
And
No.
the chat for now. But Les Bones, thank you. That was very generous. I look forward to posting lots of nuke emotes on Twitch. You're gonna kill as many I've already said. The truth is on
He
your side.
stopped it
Hey,
before
thank
the
you for all the super
sprinkle.
chats. I'll be reading all the super chats after the debate. So if you want to
How
support the
dare
show, please
you miss my
sending
sprinkle of
those means a
Hinkle?
lot. YouTube demonetizes all of my streams. So again, if you want to support
I'm
the
so
show, more
sad. He
debates like
missed
this,
it by
more adventures
1
like this,
second.
you know,
And it scrolled
super
through
chat, you
too.
can become a member on YouTube. You can gift subs on Twitch. Really appreciate all the support, you guys. Thank you so much.
Damn it. Damn it. So close.
So I'm just waiting on them to invite me to the
Dude, unlock my fucking card. What are you
Zoom.
doing to me?
Well, I already have the invite. I'm just waiting for them to turn it on.
He's waiting for Sam, huh?
All right, folks. Sam Seder is late. Sam Seder is officially late.
I could pull up Sam Seder's show and see what he's doing. If that might make the screen blurry again. Is it
If
blurry?
you're watching right now on YouTube, be sure to drop a like. It does help us boost in the algorithm. We got 1,000 people watching, only 600 something likes.
His
So
hair
drop
is
a
like
like.
fucking
Actually, we have
perfect.
1,200 people watching now. It's crazy.
He's got like cartoon character hair, bro. He's got
He's
perfect
talking
hair.
about me right now.
Like me. Perfect. Perfect hair. Perfect hair.
Jackson, Hinkle, do we have him?
There we go.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. Let me start my camera.
Okay. And so, Jackson, thank you for coming on today. I should say also, you were very gracious because where can I get him up here get him up on the screen? Do we have him? I got a weird thing on my stand. Oh, there we go. Okay. So
Is he gonna be on screen?
you sent me an email with some dates, and I've got some like I'm a little jammed up with my kids in the month of February, so I invited you onto the program. You were very gracious about coming on, and I appreciate that. And you wanted to, and now is it the case, Bradley? You can take that down.
I got
I
it.
was
I got
told that you are a communist, and so I don't know what you got going there. And so I was told that you are a communist, and that
a columnist.
you wanted to come on, and you emailed me that you wanted to debate. This is what you wrote. Would love to focus the discussion around your support for the squad. I personally believe the squad and progressives in Congress are sellouts who have abandoned virtually every aspect of progressive principles over the last couple of years. Let me know if you'd be down to discuss this. And I was a little surprised. Are you all right? Can you see the?
Yeah, the thing just moved, so I gotta fix it.
Okay, there you go. All right. So, so let me just so that my audience can know who you are. You've got a show called The Dive, right?
Yeah.
And are you and you are a communist? Yes.
I'm a Marxist-Leninist, anti-imperialist, and American patriot.
Okay. All right. And because I have to say, I was a little bit surprised by what you wanted to talk about as a Marxist-Leninist, I guess. But because it seems a little bit focused on electoral politics, from my experience with folks who refer to themselves as communists, but if that's what you wanted to do, that's fine with me. So let's just start with the idea of the premise that the squad and progressives in Congress,
playing with my hair, bro.
presumably the Democrats, right?
Arranging it.
Are sellouts. What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that, and why I think they're not progressive, because that's the other big thing here, is I think that there's 3 or 4 major issues I have with them. Number one being that they could have blocked the passage of a large number of must-pass and they chose not to. And if they had chosen to block those, I think they would have, leveraged their power for concessions, policy concessions. The second thing is I think that they have been directly voting for anti-progressive bills and measures. In some cases, they've even introduced these themselves. They've acted at the behest of the Democratic establishment on multiple occasions, giving their own, campaign funds to corporate Democrats. And the fourth thing, or the third or fourth thing, is basically staying silent and so his pro-war and
But when you say sell, I mean, this is the part that I'm unclear on. What do you think they've gotten from this? Like when you sell out something, right? I mean, what are they getting?
Money.
I think they're getting preferential treatment from the Democratic establishment.
Money.
I think the Democratic establishment is playing
future investment in their own goddamn
going as hard as they could.
In their own careers.
I think the media has treated them relatively favorably ever since they have started to act in line and kind of toe the line of the Democratic establishment. I mean, they've been able to receive donations and connections with George Soros and George Soros's family for not only their campaigns, but associated ventures like the Sunrise Movement. So I think those are just a few of the ways that they have
gotten preferential treatment from the Democratic establishment. In what way? Because as far as I can tell, like for instance, AOC, Katie Porter's not exactly on the
Katie Porter, that's whose name I couldn't remember.
Katie Porter in the squad, but I imagine you would include her in this group. They got actually the opposite of preferential treatments when it came to committee positions. Committees are the most important thing in terms of exercising power. They literally censured Ilhan Omar. They attempted to do it almost.
I think in some regards they have been attacked, and there is going to be that friction there. But in some ways, Sam, because you're trying to act like there's no ways that they've been treated preferentially. I mean, they were invited to create dialogue with the Biden administration on a whole host of policies and different policy arenas to influence the Biden agenda. Although I don't think they've really done that, with the exception of maybe climate change. They've also, Ilhan Omar, for example, she was made whip of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. We also have Ilhan Omar introducing bills that have already passed the House, thanks in part to, Nancy Pelosi's support. So there's a lot of ways in which they have received preferential treatment. But what I want to get at is what they have supported.
Let me just, let's just have a dialogue here. You say they get preferential treatment. I'm trying to figure out what it is that they're sold out for.
So he's concentrating on one thing.
And you said preferential treatment.
He's concentrating on one thing because it's all he's got.
The things where they got the opposite.
Sam, you've already lost this debate.
That Ilhan Omar is named the whip of the Congressional Progressive Caucus.
It's a platitude.
And they had the opportunity to negotiate with the Biden administration. That's the preferential treatment they got over other members of Congress.
Nothing done with the Biden administration.
The de facto position for progressives would be for the Democratic establishment to roast them at the stake every single opportunity they get, because they're there to directly, supposedly, challenge the Democratic establishment, replace them with people who align with, whatever the squad is the Justice Democrats were supposed to be. So, yes, that is the goal here. And it would make sense that the Democratic establishment should be trying to go as hard as they can against them at every single chance they get. And they haven't done that. They've given them preferential treatment to what you would expect from a group of individuals who are supposed to be unseating them.
So you're saying that the Biden administration actually conceded on all of those things as opposed to, what do you mean by roasting?
I don't think they conceded. I don't want to focus too long on this because this isn't the crux of the argument.
Good job, Jackson! Moving on! Moving on, Sam!
I think that they are not progressive, okay? But yes, the Biden administration as trying to...
That kid knows how to debate.
Just going back and forth here. All right, you're pushing back and forth. That they're getting preferential treatment because they're not being roasted by the
We
establishment.
still have preferential
And then
treatment.
you're saying that they're getting money from George Soros
Yes.
in the form of giving it to the Sunrise Movement?
No, Ilhan Omar received direct contributions.
How much from George Soros?
She received, let me pull it up here. She received, between George Soros, Andrea Soros, and Alex Soros, she received $2,700, $5,600 in 2020, and then in 2018, $2,700 respectively.
It's nothing.
Okay. I didn't realize she'd received $2,700 in multiple years.
Sam makes a good
and so-
point. Sam makes a
you're-
good point.
You're contending that they sold out for over $2,700 from George Soros.
No, if you listen to anything I just said, I named numerous examples in which the squad has been given preferential treatment. And
no,
to just select that one in particular.
Exactly, Jackson.
Well, you said Soros. I was just asking in terms of this part. You said Soros was number 4, I think.
I mean, there's more I could go on.
I know
for this,
Sam's
but
annoying.
again,
He's getting
what
beat.
I want to talk about.
He
here,
did make
what
a
I
good
wanna
point
talk
right
about
there,
here,
but that's
what
not gonna
you
win the
seem to not
debate.
want to talk about, and I can assume why, is they could be blocking to get concessions in return, and in some cases, they're actually directly supporting anti-progressive measures and bills.
Okay, and there's no doubt that they have taken votes that I agree that I would disagree with in some instances.
Thank
Some
you.
You are a lot.
I mean,
Thank you, Sam.
a few.
How
but
many is a few? I'm just curious.
I don't have a list of how many votes I don't appreciate that they've taken.
Well, I mean, don't you think there's I just want to nail you down on this, because don't you think there's a difference between, like, say a few is 3, 2 to 3. Do you think there's a difference between 2 to 3 bad votes and say like 15 or 20 bad votes?
How many votes did they take in total? And I'll tell you that I would imagine there's probably 25
Look
to
at Jackson
30%
just Googling that
of
shit.
their votes that I would
Bam.
have a problem with
Fucking
off
love
the
it.
top of my head.
Go,
I would
Jackson.
imagine for consequential policy items, there was probably roughly like 60 to 100 consequential policy items that were voted on in this session of Congress 2021 so far.
Wow.
There's obviously a lot of procedural and House rules votes that get voted on every single session of Congress. So far, there's been over 400 votes in this session of Congress. But a lot of those, again,
You Google
are
that
just
shit.
on amendments to bills that are eventually voted on, or just procedural votes.
Okay.
So you're saying that maybe 20 to 30 out of 60 are bad votes?
30%. I don't know. I
You
mean,
just said 20 to 30 votes out of potentially 60 to 100 were bad. So is that something that you would necessarily support? I mean, I just don't really understand. Why don't you criticize the squad on all of these things? I've heard you criticize them like once and every so often, but you don't criticize them on all of these bad votes. And I don't understand how you plan to hold them accountable if
Hey,
you're not
Phil.
criticizing them.
well, I mean, I do.
Right,
I mean,
Nick?
I don't know if you watch every one of our shows.
You
Did
know,
you
I said
criticize
Sam's
them?
annoying
Did you
and I love
criticize
it.
them
He
when
is
AOC
annoying.
funneled $160,000
Oh, if you
to
listen to
triple
me
seat
when
for
I
the Democrats after promising not to?
Actually, first of all,
First of all,
I actually didn't criticize that.
Why not?
Actually, I'll tell you why. Because I think part of the strategy in which they deployed, and she said, we should say she did these in incremental ones, right? There was like 2,000s a pot, if I'm not mistaken, right?
They were 5,000.
Okay, 5,000. I think there's value in doing that, because I think that what politicians should do, broadly speaking, is go in and try and get legislation that is positive passed.
you gotta do
And
that.
so if
What positive legislation have they gotten passed by donating to those DCCC candidates?
well, the Build Back Better bill passed in the House.
It didn't
Did
do
it
it.
pass in the Senate?
It didn't.
No, but she didn't give to senators.
So what legislation has the squad voted for?
Right.
And
That
it's
wor-
also passed in the
that's
Senate
doing
that you
stuff.
think is good and directly resulted in donating $5,000 to DCCC candidates.
Except-
Don't you also think? Wait, Sam. Don't you also think that given that AOC specifically said that she was not going to donate to them, that's a problem that she then went out and donated to them? And this is before.
that? I think people could take issue with that.
And this is before there's even a Democratic primary. So there was going to be progressive challengers like Ava Patsova in Arizona's first district.
I think people could take issue with that.
So why did you not?
We did talk about it.
You just told me you didn't talk about it a minute ago.
Wow.
No.
Yes, you did.
Wow, dude.
I didn't spend as much time emphasizing it apparently as you want me to, but
No, you just told me a minute ago you didn't talk about it. What do you think about the fact that they voted to subsidize Cobra premiums for 6 months?
I, in fact, talked about it with AOC, and I said that was garbage, and she said it was garbage.
So you talked about it before she did it or after she did it?
After she did it, she came on the show, and I literally said that was a garbage vote, and she said, yes, it's garbage.
Sounds like Trump.
So did you press her as to why? I'm just curious.
Yes. You should go back and watch it.
What about when she voted to
go watch my show, Jackson?
Myanmar, Cambodia, and supported sanctions on Cuba, Venezuela, a handful of other countries she voted to sanction, and basically the entire global South.
Yeah, I'm against sanctioning, in particular the case of Venezuela.
Okay. What about when she refused to speak out against Biden's airstrikes in Syria, Afghanistan, Somalia, or Iraq, many of which killed civilians?
I don't remember if I said anything about AOC not.
You didn't. I was watching your show at the time. I actually watch a lot of your show, but you when the Capitol Police and to a $1.9 billion
I didn't
increase.
take issue with her specifically, but I said that vote was wrong.
So,
But I really can't.
okay, Sam, there's one more thing I want to say here because this kind of ties the whole argument together. There's a difference between saying that this vote is wrong and saying that not only is this vote wrong, but they could have leveraged the power that they had on these votes because in the case of the Capitol Police and Security bill, they could have actually blocked the passage of that bill to get concessions in return. So why are you not saying that? Because you've actually gone out on the record previously, and you have said,
Jackson. Criticized OC over the
well,
past.
the question is why?
Childish. Well, I've made it quite clear. I don't care.
You don't care about what?
Let me ask you this.
You don't care about what? No. What don't you care about? What don't you care about?
Increase in the Capitol Police, I don't think is that relevant.
Why don't you think it's relevant? There was a leak yesterday from Capitol Police that shows that Capitol Police has intelligence units across the country that are creating dossiers on Congress people and their staffers. You don't care about that?
I think that's a problem. That came out yesterday.
Yes.
The increase in the Capitol Police after they were overrun, you know what? I just don't think it's that big of a deal. What I think is a much bigger deal in my mind was the opportunity to raise millions of children out of poverty, which they're not going to be able to do, but because, like you said,
they let it lapse.
No, they didn't let it lapse.
The child tax credit, they let that lapse. And they could have potentially blocked that from lapsing had they leveraged their votes. I'm talking about a number of votes. Do you understand the idea? Do you understand the idea of force the vote? Sam, do you understand the idea of force the vote?
Here we go.
No, I don't. But let's just say
We don't understand the idea of force the vote.
Holy shit.
Do you think AOC is better than Joe Manchin?
You don't understand the idea of force
Oh
the
my
vote?
God, Joe
Do you think
Manchin.
AOC is better than Joe Manchin? Let's stay with your original thing
Not
that you wanted to
much.
debate. Then we can
Is
get
that what I wanted to
Not
debate?
much.
Did I email you about that?
Would love to focus the discussion around your support for the squad. I personally believe the squad and progressives in Congress are sellouts who have abandoned virtually every aspect of progressive principles over the last couple of years.
So where in that did I say that AOC is worse than Joe Manchin? I'm just curious.
I'm asking you, I'm trying to explore if they have sold out every aspect of progressive principles, and if you think Joe Manchin and AOC are essentially the same.
Again, I did not say that. You're
I didn't
creating
say you said that. That's why I'm asking you.
you're creating a fake argument. Of course, no, I don't think AOC is the same.
I'm asking you a question.
Well, no, you said that I said that, and that's what I initially came here to debate. That's not true. But no, of course, I don't think, of course, Sam. Of course, I don't think that AOC is the same as Joe Manchin. Like, you think I'm insane or something? Of course, I don't think they're the same.
I have some questions.
I have some questions about you, too.
AOC is
I got some questions about you, too.
Is more progressive than Joe Manchin?
Jackson
I think
is.
she's a terrible legislator
Jackson's
because she's
doing a
allowed
great
roughly
job,
18,
guys. Give me a
must-pass
one in the
or
chat
near must-pass
for
votes
Jackson.
go
Give me a
through
one in
without
the chat
blocking
for
them,
Jackson.
and instances in which she could have actually blocked the agenda from going through.
Okay. Do you think AOC is more progressive than Joe Manchin?
That's not what I came here to debate, but of course, yes, I do.
Why I support.
That's not what I came here to debate, but of course I do, yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I support the squad is because I think she's better than people like Joe Manchin. The squad.
So my problem with that.
Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and are better than Josh Gottheimer.
So you're basically saying, well, AOC is better than the lowest bar we have in the Democratic Party, so that's why I support her. By that logic, do you support Nancy Pelosi because Nancy Pelosi is better than Joe Manchin?
You know what? I don't support Nancy Pelosi because
But she's better than Joe Manchin, so why don't you support her?
Because she's not the best that we have in the Congress.
Okay, so let's take a look at the best we have in the Congress. The best we have in the Congress are, according to your logic, the best we have in the Congress right now is the squad, right? And the most progressive, I'm putting that in quotes, members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus.
Yes, exactly.
So given the fact that this group of individuals, the squad, campaigned on fighting for a set agenda, and they have not fought for that agenda, and they have abandoned every single opportunity that they could have blocked must-pass bills through, or must-pass votes like the speakership vote during the Force the Vote saga.
That's true.
They have chosen to pass the Democratic agenda instead of actually forcing through their agenda and getting small or large concessions in return.
Okay.
Why didn't you support Force the Vote?
Right.
Well, I'll talk to you about Force the Vote, but let's just stay on the topic that you wanted, and then I'll talk about Force the Vote.
All right. Go back to that.
The reason why I support the most progressive members of the Democratic Party is because they're the most progressive members of the Democratic Party. Now, if you want to have a conversation that you think people should be voting for a third party instead of Democrats, I'll have that conversation too. But why wouldn't, unless you do want to have that conversation, why wouldn't I support the most progressive members of the Democratic Party, even if they are subpar to where I want them to be?
Because they're
I think that
where you
we
want
need
them
to
to
hold them
be.
accountable, which is, I was a supporter of AOC. I donated to her. I bought her little merchandise stuff. And even during Force the Vote, even during Force the Vote, I would always say, I hope she proves me wrong. I hope she fights for this agenda that I care about. And she never did, and the squad never did. And they have
You still think the most progressive members of Congress, correct?
That's not a high bar. I hold them to what they. No, Sam, listen. Don't interrupt. I was about to answer your question and you interrupted me. I was about to answer your question and you interrupted me. Okay. I hold them to the bar that they ran on while campaigning for Congress. Right. That bar is saying stuff like, "I'm going to fight for Medicare for all. We can't wait 100 more years. We need to fight for it right now." Saying stuff like, "I don't care if I'm a one-term congressperson," AOC says, "I don't care if I'm a one-term congressperson. Yes! I'm going to fight for my agenda or essentially go down trying."
Yes.
That's what I hold them to.
That's what I super chatted
Jackson last night. Why don't you?
I mean, I have issues.
I super chatted Jackson that last night.
Votes that they have taken.
He's like, I'll tell him that.
They are the most progressive members of the Democratic Party. And until there's more progressive, people who are more progressive than them, they're the best we have. I don't get attached to politicians like you seem to have felt like you're scorned by them in some way. And I just don't care. I don't think politicians have principles. I think they go in and they get the best that they can do. Sometimes I think that they make mistakes because they're not smart. Sometimes I think some of them are just completely sold out. I think there's a lot of sellouts in Congress. In fact, Ilhan Omar was on the program last week, and she specifically said there's a lot of people who came in progressive who are corporatists now. And I don't know who exactly she meant. I have some ideas. I suspect Nancy Pelosi was one of them. And And so I don't get attached in the way you do. So your notion of my
He said he was
support
going to
for
say
them,
that. He did.
I didn't
love it.
donate to AOC. I didn't get as attached to them as you did. I take them, they are politicians. I look for the most progressive politicians who are in a position to either win or to implement policy. And yes, they have largely failed. Joe Biden has failed. The Senate has failed. The Senate leadership has failed. I think Pelosi failed. I think it was a mistake for them to vote for the bipartisan infrastructure bill. The Progressive Caucus has failed. In fact, I think that, one of the things that I'm hoping, and, to the extent that I can pressure, there's only so much pressure I can bring to bear on politicians. But one of the things I am hoping that they do is that they actually implement some voting requirements, some litmus tests to be a Progressive Caucus member.
I think that's a great idea. But Sam, first of all, you just said a lot there. So
that idea. You know who brought up that idea on this program?
I have brought up that. You've brought that idea up on this program, brought it up on my program as well. I know you've said that.
Up on this program.
You said it during your first Force the Vote video, actually. You said that maybe it's time that we tell members of the CPC that they should have to support a vote on Medicare for all in the House floor if they want to be a part of it. I think that's a great idea. I just wish you would continue holding them accountable like you did then. Anyways, but you said that I'm
How did I hold them accountable then?
Sam, I just let you talk for so long.
How did I hold them accountable then?
You want to go into this?
Jackson, what do you think is going on here?
You held them accountable back then by going out on your program and saying stuff like
influencing them.
We could push House progressive members to leverage their votes. It is worth it right now, tweeting at some of the top progressives, people who are supported by the Justice Democrats and the Squad. The more of a stink we make, the easier it is for progressives to leverage it because they can simply say, look, I have my own pressures. So I think it's a good idea to do this, to force this vote.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why did you not say that or make a stink about this during the vote on the adoption of House rules or the congressional budget or the American Rescue Plan Act or the For the People Act or increasing the Capitol Police and Security budget or the 12% increase in the State Department and USA? No, I'm not done. 12% increase in the State Department and USAID funding that they all voted for, the Legislative Appropriations Act, Combating International Islamophobia Act, all of these things, the Infrastructure Act, increasing government funding, all of these things, Sam, I'm done, but let me just finish. I let you talk for so long and I don't interrupt you. I just expect a little bit of respect in return. All of these things were passed by a margin of roughly 6 to 10 votes in the House. These are all things that the progressives could have banded together, or in some cases banded together to stop and get concessions in return. Sam, please stop interrupting me.
Why is
Please stop interrupting me.
Because
Jackson's
destroying him. That's why Sam's cutting him off.
No.
I have a problem with the State Department getting
with his own words.
You don't have a problem with that?
With the State Department getting funding? No.
A 12% increase.
I mean, a 12% increase, 11% increase, 13% increase.
You don't have a problem with the State Department, who is leading coups across this world, who's launching hybrid warfare through
the National Endowment for Democracy in countries all across this world, like Venezuela, like you just mentioned, that you said you had a problem with warmongering. Way beyond what I thought he was going to do.
With a 12% increase to the State Department.
Not only is he destroying him, but he's owning him.
Progressive policies in return.
While he's destroying him.
Concession.
He's concession.
Fucking ice skating all over him.
You know how closely that vote passed? Do you even know the vote?
No.
It was 217 to 212. AOC, Tlaib, and Bush voted no. Presley, Omar, Bowman, Jayapal, Khanna, Lee, and Porter voted yes. So had 3 more progressives who voted yes, voted no. They would have been able to defeat the measure temporarily or, forever, because I don't support an increase in the State Department, unlike you. And they could have blocked it temporarily and gotten concessions in return.
Increased on the State Department budget.
So why don't you think it was a good idea to at least temporarily delay the passage of that to get concessions?
What I had more of an issue with was the...
No, wait, I want to hear you answer that.
Organization. I don't care. Jackson, I don't care. I do not share.
Of course you don't care
your
because you can't answer
about
him
the 12%
truthfully.
increase
That's why you
in
don't
in
care.
the State Department budget.
Wow.
I'm far
No,
more.
I'm not asking you to care about that.
A
I'm
guy who
asking you to
supposedly
care
cares about
the fact that
politics.
they could have delayed that. They chose not to.
He picks and
And by
chooses
choosing
what he
not to,
cares
they
about.
abandoned an opportunity to get a progressive concession in return.
Wow.
Why didn't
What concession are you talking about?
any progressive concession? You've listed things like getting better committee assignments.
Wait. So you think they're going to get a better committee assignment if they hold up the vote on a State Department budget?
That's what you've said in the past regarding the speakership vote. I think there's other progressive concessions they could have gotten in return. I think they could have gotten votes on getting policies. I think they could have gotten Biden's agenda potentially.
To me, what
about Sam? Listen. What about a $15 minimum wage for all Americans? That's not even a progressive
His
agenda.
eyebrows
That's
are like
something
this.
Biden ran on.
minimum wage
Yes,
not get through the
Sad
Senate,
clown.
Jackson?
but don't you think it would be important to at the least get a vote on that in the House?
I mean, I suppose. I think everybody has said they're for it. It's
Finally.
not going anywhere.
So why don't you support the squad delaying these bills, all the
Right.
ones I just listed, that passed by a small margin of votes, smaller than the squad themselves?
Get a win
Not
is a
terribly
win. Get a
relevant in
win.
the final analysis. I mean, one of the problems with, let's say, force the vote, and you wanted to talk about that, and you've quoted me from a video in which I initially talked about force the vote. Do we have that video? Play that video. Play a clip of that video, and I'm gonna tell you like what exactly what happened with
He's
Need
force.
to
gonna
look at
play
the
a
video to-
video.
Remember what you said?
It was a year ago, Jackson.
He's gonna
I
play a
guess your
video.
opinions have shifted a lot since then.
Well, I've also done 300 shows since then. All right, here's the video. My only caveat about this is that I don't know how well it's going to do in a vote. I think it's going to get the majority of Democrats, I would imagine, if it was to take the vote taken. But it's also like, is that the best ask?
Mhm.
Is it better ask? We want more progressives on this committee, or we want more progressives on that committee. But for the time being, and I need to read more into it.
I
But I
report
think
to support.
the idea is that it is worth
Looks
right
like
now.
Murray.
I think this is one of those few places like where Twitter actually
This guy's
means
an
something.
idiot. Lol. There you go. Better video
All right.
arrangement.
So
Thanks,
now, Jackson,
Dapper.
let me tell you what happened after that.
Can you hear me? My camera froze for some reason. You can hear me though?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
So let me tell you what happened at that point. I was talking to some people, and nobody in a congressional thing, but activists on this, and people who were involved in Medicare for All were like, it's going to be bad. We're going to lose 300 plus to 100. It's going to be bad for Medicare for All. And I was like, well, at this point, it's quite clear that the campaign for force the vote had already basically taken off. And at that point, did we just lose them?
No, I'm still here. My camera just went out. I don't know what happened.
Is that on your end? Because I can actually see me in your camera.
Yeah, no, it must be his.
It's on my end.
Anyways, all right. So at that point, I realized, like, okay, well, I'm not going to stay in the way of this thing because let 1,000 flowers bloom was my feeling. It was a dumb ass to have a vote. I'm not watching myself 4 times 4. It was a dumb ask, in my opinion, to have a vote for something that was going to lose. And I think that we definitely saw the failure. And even if it had won, I think it would, and it wouldn't have gone anywhere in the Senate. But for it to lose so badly would have been a dumb thing to do. And then all of a sudden it became this sort of litmus test. If the squad is not using this to do a dumb performative act, then they're sellouts. And that was the only time that I actually even started to speak out against the force of the vote. I'm not even sure if I did, I think maybe we talked about it once.
You're all did for you,
By
Jackson.
the time I ended that show, it had been a debate, but that was weeks after it had failed. So the reason why I didn't hold them to getting committee positions with that vote at that point was because the whole thing had taken off as Medicare for all and had become, someone's sort of pet project to make it about some type of litmus test for the squad to push for Medicare for all, which I thought was a really bad idea.
All right. Well, what's interesting about that putting force the vote to bed debate. I don't know if you still believe this, but one of the reasons you put forward for not supporting force the vote was you said, let's say Nancy Pelosi says, fine, don't vote for me. The Dems lose the speakership because you're not going to get that 218 people to coalesce around another person. You're going to end up getting McCarthy. Do you still believe the lie that Kevin McCarthy would have become Speaker of the House if we tried to force the vote?
I have no idea what would have happened.
You understand it would have taken Democrat together rather than voting for someone else to end up with Kevin McCarthy as Speaker?
Well, I don't know. Let's say they held out. What happens on day 2 or 3?
You keep taking more rounds of voting.
Do people abstain?
No, you keep taking more rounds
How
of
do you
voting.
know? How do you know Josh Gottheimer doesn't abstain? How do you
Because
know?
there's historical precedent for
How do
this.
there's historical precedent for what? Henry Cuellar?
For a House speakership vote that went 12 rounds.
Yeah, well, how do you know that Josh Gottheimer is not going to abstain? How do you know that Henry Cuellar is not going to abstain?
Because that would mean a Democrat is voting for a Republican. That's not going to happen.
Have you seen Henry Cuellar's voting record?
I have, and I've seen AOC's, which falls pretty much all in line with Nancy Pelosi's too.
Wow.
Right. Well, Henry Cuellar's doesn't.
The fact of the matter is they were not going to vote for a Republican. The Democratic establishment would not have allowed that to happen. And the fact that you're thinking that there's some sort of practicality in this argument that Henry Cuellar or Gottheimer would have voted for Kevin McCarthy as Speaker is actually insane. Like, that's actually insane.
Okay.
So
He's got no
if
response.
you understand, though, the principle behind forced vote.
Jackson wins another point. No response.
Medicare for this
I
forced
have a
vote.
problem with the ask.
Jesus Christ,
It's not
Sam. Let me
principle.
finish
I
before
understand
you
the
interrupt
principle
me.
leverage.
I know my camera's not on. It broke, but let me at least finish what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you understand,
Jackson's great.
that forced vote is a strategy that could be carried out, and you've said this in the past, you just think maybe Medicare for all wasn't the best ask, or the speakership vote was too risky because you don't understand how a speakership vote works, then why didn't you support forcing the vote on any of the other policies I listed, or criticize the squad for not forcing the vote on those policies?
Okay. Let's not use the word force the vote because
What do you want to call it?
why didn't they use their leverage?
I know that phrase is triggering to you. So why didn't they use their leverage?
I know that phrase is triggering to you.
How do you know that they didn't?
Because they voted for these bills without getting
Jimmy
consent.
Dore's laughing his ass
How do you
off
know?
right now.
Because there are no substantive large material changes that we have
I know
seen.
that term is triggering
there's
for you.
nothing that
There's
nothing that the squad has been able.
No, wait a
There's
second.
nothing.
You just made a statement.
You just asked me a question.
Jackson.
Let me finish. You just
No,
asked me
I
a
heard
question.
you.
Let me
You
finish.
answered it. You said there's no.
Oh, yeah,
You just asked me a
Dapper.
question.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
if it's answering or not.
I mean,
You know
Jackson is
what's in-
destroying
you know
Sam
what's in the
Cedar
You know what's in the bill
Destroying
that's in the
him.
bill?
The one that didn't pass?
from the left.
No, the one that did pass. It passed in the
not pass.
House.
Was it signed into law? I must
We're
have missed
talking,
it.
but Jackson, we're talking about House members, yes?
Well, what is the point of?
Are we talking about House members, or are we
Sam,
talking about people in the Senate?
What is the point?
Are we
of-
talking about Joe Manchin, or are we
Sam.
talking about AOC?
Sam,
You said that Joe Manchin is worse than AOC. That AOC is more progressive. They're different people.
Why is he going back to
Two
that
different
point?
houses. You understand how that works?
You want to hear the incredible thing, Sam? You want to hear the? I understand that there are two separate chambers in Congress, Sam. You want to hear the
Let's
incredible
clip.
thing?
Hold on
because
one
you
second,
continue to
Jackson.
talk over me.
Jackson,
You
hold
haven't
on
ever
one
let me answer the initial question you asked.
I'll let you answer
Let me
this.
say this.
Let me
The
play this.
interesting thing here.
Hold on one second, Jackson. Give me 1 second. Will you play the end of this, the Ilhan Omar thing? Because I thought this was sort of interesting. Because I think it's possible that Jackson doesn't quite
Wow.
understand certain dynamics. Bradley, do you have that? Play this last
They
clip.
pulled his
Because I
volume
tuned
down.
into this, or I got to be fair. somebody sent this to me. And I was curious because Jackson had
They pulled his volume
done a
down.
video on our interview with Ilhan Omar, said it was shocking. And I was like, was it? Did we do something that was shocking in the interview? But play the end of this, and this is what I think it was. The fight's a little bit ways away, so we can hopefully catch it.
The leadership fight's not gonna happen, dude. What are you saying? You honestly believe? Hold on, this motherfucker thinks that we're gonna hold the house. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, yeah, sure. You ask me those leadership position questions when the time comes around. Okay. All right. We'll see you later. Okay. That was incredible.
Okay. There's going to be a leadership fight, regardless of whether the Democrats hold the House. That there is a leadership fight. If they are in the majority, then it's for the speakership. And if they're in the minority, then it's just for the leadership. In other words, Kevin McCarthy is the leader of the Republicans in the minority. You understand how this works, right?
So first of all, I do want to address the fact that you just completely changed the subject when you were getting pressed. But yes,
No, I didn't change the subject. You don't think you expect.
You're right. We are listening to Jack.
To change the votes in the Senate, and it doesn't work that way.
When did I ever say that, Sam?
Well, because you said, what concessions did they get? And I said they passed the Build Back Better bill, which you didn't seem to understand in the House.
My bad,
They did
You're
pass
right.
it in the House.
Right.
And then you said, well, it wasn't signed into legislation. And I said, that's because it got stopped in the Senate.
Okay.
And 6 members of the House cannot control
I'm
that.
trying to be really respectful right now, but you continue to
Don't
talk
be.
over me and
Don't
interrupt
be.
me.
Do
So
whatever
let me
you
go.
want.
Let me go. So when you talk about speakership votes, that implies that there's going to be a Democratic majority.
I spoke about leadership votes.
Second of all,
Leadership votes.
all,
Play it again. You didn't hear it.
Second of
Play it
all,
again. Play it again. Hold on,
I'm gonna
Jack.
mute you if you play it again. I'm trying to talk
Okay,
about.
it's my show, ding dong.
Okay,
play it
okay,
again.
I'm gonna go
Wow.
off and say what I'm going to say about what.
Now he's
I've been
calling
trying
them
to get out
names.
for 5
Ding
minutes now,
dong.
but you've
Well, you
continued
can
to-
do it again, but you just misspoke. You said I said speakership, and I said leadership. So let's play it
You
again.
think that even if the end of that conversation, the end of the conversation was about leadership, and it was, do you think that the speakership matters as much as the leadership? You honestly believe? Hold on, this motherfucker thinks that we're gonna hold the house. Oh my god. Okay.
I didn't say that.
Okay, yeah, sure. You asked me those leadership position questions when the time
Leadership.
comes around. Okay.
All right. Okay. So, all right. So, Jackson,
Sam.
continue.
Do you
Mute
actually
yourself, Jackson.
do you actually think that the speakership?
Is he still muted?
Am I muted? Can you hear me?
He may not come back.
Can you hear me? They just muted me. Can you hear me? Hello?
Ask him to unmute a few more times.
you
it,
wanna
might be,
unmute?
it might be the complex setup
Hello?
he's got going
Hello?
on there.
He's got a pretty crazy setup. going on. All I
Bullshit.
do is see myself twice.
You muted me.
Can you believe this?
Did he
You
go away?
muted me. Hello. My mic is still on.
They're playing bullshit with him.
My mic is still on. Can you hear me?
All right. Well, Jackson,
Wow.
you want to come back? You can come back. If not,
I'm
you
here.
can say goodbye.
Wow.
I'm here. You fucking muted me.
Wow.
You're full of shit.
We can keep him on if we want.
I'll just keep him in this side.
You muted me.
Wow, man.
I don't even know how to reach out to you.
Oh, am I still on his screen?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
You muted.
Do number. What's this one?
My whole audience can hear me right now. You muted
Do
me.
this one.
Fucking bitch.
Wow.
Put that out. See if that gets him to
You
come back.
muted me.
This is a.
Oh, they're
This is
showing
the
what?
thing is sometimes I think
They're
Jackson
smearing
comes around and
Jackson
says,
when his dad Ray showed him.
He says lies my parents told me when I was little. This
Oh
is
my
something
God! Fuck Sam
Oh.
Cedar.
I guess
They
it's from a year
muted
ago.
me. I swear. to
Santa
God, they
is
muted me.
real. The tooth fairy leaves money under your pillow.
Fucking cunts.
Cunts.
Fucking cunts.
Cunts.
They muted me.
Good for you,
They
Jackson.
kicked me off.
Dude,
They
they're
muted me.
smearing him.
Absolute fucking disrespectful.
Wow,
That is a quit on their
they're
end.
fucking
And I
smearing
they
him.
muted me. And my fucking camera doesn't work. I don't know what the fuck happened to this.
Wow, what a douchebag.
Because I wanted to ask him about that because
They muted me.
as a parent, I want to know if
let me
there's
try my
actually
Wait, he-
tension between them or if that was funny. Because I feel like I would do that to my kids. at one
They
point.
muted me,
But-
bro.
What a
Let's
You
take a
guys
break
can still hear me.
and
What a
go back
douchebag.
I
and
muted myself on their own
wrap
thing.
up the show and
The
maybe
host muted me and
and
never
let's just come
unmuted
back.
me.
look
in
at
so
this
we can-
douchebag.
That's a
do the
twitch
show.
on their end. That's a fucking L for
I don't think he
Celsius.
wants to come back.
Fucking
No, I
bitch.
think that.
That was
Well,
the biggest
I
bitch
think we'll
I've
put it
ever
down
heard
to
in
the
my fucking
technical
life.
confusion that he had going on there.
Yeah.
Sam
It was
Cedar
difficult to
just
unmute,
muted me
but yeah.
after my
Thank
camera
God all
stopped
points
working.
I think so.
We didn't
Why
get to
the fuck is my
the squad
camera
is the
broken?
spear point of
God,
fascism in the
fucking
United States,
shit.
but maybe I can.
Do you want to give him that opportunity to say that? We should allow. Let's play that.
Yeah. Do we
What
have
a
the
weaselly
squad
little
is the
bitch, bro.
fascism?
He muted me.
It's not just that they're
You
worse,
guys all
that
still
they're
heard
better
me.
than
The
they're
host
better than
muted me. They
Manchin,
played that dumbass
but they're
fucking
also
video
the vanguard of fascism in this country.
The fuck, dude.
See, this is the thing that I think was genuous.
I feel like there's a little bit of Mott and Bailey. If people
Now
look
they're just
that
gonna
up,
bash
debating
him while he
where you
can't
take a
defend
stronger
himself.
Position in one time, then a more defensive
Well,
position when you're being called.
What a
It is
bunch
like
of
this
cunts.
is-
Let me see if I can get this camera working again.
Are Democrats the new fascists with their COVID concentration camps? I think that, as I've said before, and I literally got, it went semi-viral on Twitter when I said it, but I stand by it 100%. I said that
Tamara, thank you for the super chat.
fascism in the United States
This
will
was
come
all
from
planned.
progressive, like woke
Without a
circles,
doubt,
like the
they
squad.
muted me.
For
They're
example.
fucking smearing him right now,
I
Sam
dude.
truly
Seder ran
believe
like
this
Crowder
is just
ran from
further
him.
proof of that. You know, this is just
Why
further
is that
proof of
coming
that.
up?
So,
What is that?
yeah,
So it's not
I've
just
never
that they
had that
didn't
happen
leverage
in
their
the
vote to
before.
get progressive concessions when there was a 12% increase in the State Department budget.
I mean,
It's that they're the vanguard of fascism in this country.
I mean, my concern is that
That's
what if we
crazy.
did force a vote and then all those squad members
That's
did
actually
vote
crazy.
for Medicare for all, and then we supported them, and then they did fascism.
That would have been the real.
They went out right where we wanted us.
But they're getting all these.
Just gonna leave this
Here's
up
the
so you guys
amazing
can
thing.
look at something. Stay human. Thank you for the super chat.
CIA tactics.
Without a doubt.
Dude,
I don't know why my camera's not working.
fucking restart your
Not the
camera,
time for my
dude.
camera to stop working.
Just restart it.
Not a good time for my camera to stop working.
I know, right? They fucking muted him and started
Add
smearing him.
source. Add new source.
I want to fucking. I don't know why my fucking shit is acting really weird. This I don't know.
Why is this shit not working?
I don't know why the chat's not working right. All of a sudden, it's not showing my fucking chat.
Camera timed out. No,
Dude,
I stream for
everything
hours
is
every
fucking
day.
up
Thank
on
you
me,
for the
dude.
Gifted subs.
Why is it showing the fucking chat?
They are inviting you back. All right. Well, how are they reaching out to me? They muted me.
They are inviting you back.
How do I? How are they inviting me back? Because they're the ones who muted me.
Dude,
Is he messaging
why
me
is
on
my
Twitter?
fucking
'Cause I don't
screen
see it on
fucking up
Twitter.
like this, dude? I don't know what the fuck. Why my screen is doing this shit? It is so weird. Where's the fucking? What is it behind, dude?
Let me message Sam. I mean, like they muted me.
Dude, they started smearing you. Fuck them. God damn, he has no idea, and I'm sitting here like an idiot.
And now they wanna invite me back because they realize I fucking am gonna call them out and I have 2,000 people watching. And that doesn't look good for them. Cannot believe they did that. Cannot believe they did that. Cannot believe they did that. I don't see any emails from them. I've got no emails. So if they're telling you that they're inviting me back, that is equally as much bullshit as when they said they unmuted me.
Wow.
Let me try clicking the old link again.
I'm gonna send him the super chat if I can. I don't know why my fucking computer is
Can you hear
acting
me?
so
One
weird
example
right
he
now.
gave, AOC voted the right way. The
Yeah.
math is that, and
I'll jump off so you guys
Yes.
can be on mono a mono.
What is that?
Bro, like,
Where's that coming from?
first of all, my
Where's your-
camera's not working. Second of all,
Where's that
your
sound
host
coming from?
muted me. I don't know who that was, but your host muted me.
Talking over the clip, it was me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I never unmuted my thing. I never touched any of my stuff on my end. And then you guys claimed that I muted myself. You guys muted me and tried to get me off the stream.
Matt just said it. No, you're back.
I just said I muted you because you're talking over.
We
me.
do that
And
fairly
I-
regularly.
Why didn't you unmute me when it was over?
I
And
asked
then you claimed that I muted myself. And I was
Jackson, you back.
Jackson, you're talking to me. Let me just clarify. I asked you to unmute yourself. You'll notice in the chat I said, "Are you able to unmute yourself?" And you left. But now that everything's sorted out, except your camera,
Welcome
So
back.
if you
What a
muted
liar.
me, why didn't you just unmute me?
I tried to.
Jackson,
Jackson, Zoom.
you're back.
Let me explain. Let me just explain for everybody because I don't want this to be the thing that they hang their hat on. It says ask to unmute yourself. So I asked you to unmute yourself. You had to affirmatively unmute yourself. You didn't do that.
Why
But
didn't
now-
you just say that?
That's what I said actually right before you got on there. So
We have a
said
screen-
you said it on a chat, but you didn't. I'm not reading the chat. I mean, I didn't even know there was a chat in here. But all right, let's keep talking.
Yeah.
So my question, Sam, was if you understand the idea behind forcing a vote, sorts of policies, and the squad ran on a set agenda saying they were going to fight for that agenda. And then
He's
every
wearing
time
his
they had the
earplug!
opportunity to
He's
force
wearing
that
his
vote,
fucking
they
earplug in!
choose not to. And they have no material gains, no material concessions that they can show for
Holy
these
shit!
potentially hypothetical secret concessions that you claim they're getting, potentially. Then why aren't you criticizing them like we all are?
Okay, I don't know who we all are in this instance, but Jackson, you started this off by saying that they were getting preferential treatment by the Democrats, and one of those was their ability to go in and negotiate with Biden.
God, he's
How
wearing
is
a
that
fucking
preferential
earpiece!
treatment different from
For
exercising
a
their
debate.
leverage to get in and negotiate as to what the outcomes of bills will be?
Very, very easy answer to that. If you're looking at it from a practical sense as to what is practical, pragmatic politics, the idea of going in on a joint task force with Biden does not result in material changes. In addition to that, those joint task forces, with the exception of, say, the climate change one, they weren't negotiating based on their agenda and items that they could potentially get concessions on. They were negotiating in favor of Biden's agenda between the more progressive aspects of his agenda and the more conservative aspects of his agenda. And I think that they need to be forcing votes on their agenda,
What
concessions
do you
from
mean
their
forcing votes? What are you talking about? What does that mean?
Well, I would ask you because in your initial video and in the debate you had with Brianna Joy Gray, you said that, yes, I think forcing a vote is a fundamentally good principle.
Leverage for certain things is a good principle. But I don't know what you mean forcing a vote. You could have a vote. Listen, there's a bill that has been introduced by Jayapal, right? A Medicare for All bill.
It was introduced after they had already voted for the subsidization of COBRA premiums for 6 months, which is something you said you vehemently disagreed with.
I did disagree. Yes, I railed on it quite a bit,
Do you know
actually.
they actually delayed the introduction of Medicare for All so they could initially first pass the COBRA premium subsidies in that COVID bill?
Yes, Nancy Pelosi is a very outspoken critic of Medicare for All. I'm aware of that. That's why I've criticized Nancy Pelosi for that as well.
So if you think that maybe
Jayapal,
Medicare for All is not the best ask,
Jayapal, do I think that putting a vote for Medicare for All on the floor is not the best ask? Correct.
okay, so why don't they instead, focus on, if you think maybe these domestic policies are not their strong suit in forcing their agenda through, like Medicare for All, why don't they focus on foreign policy issues?
No. Jackson, you're talking jibber jabber here. If you
jibber jabber to talk about foreign policy, is that jibber jabber to you?
If you force the vote for Medicare for All, let's say, it will lose. And not only will it not win, which you don't seem to think winning in the House is even meaningful, right? Because the Build Back Better is not going to become a bill because it's stopping in the Senate. What about losing a vote in the House?
You actually said on your show, and let me bring this up because this is your quote again.
You said that you think that it's important to set markers even if votes fail. So when they can control, both houses and the White House, potentially with progressive politicians, they will have the record of who in the Democratic caucus votes for it.
Yeah, well, with the value we have of Medicare for All is that we know at the very least there's 100 Democrats who won't even co-sponsor the bill,
And
right?
you
So we
said-
know that. Now, for
you
instance,
said that you thought it was a good idea.
in the Senate, they voted to expand Social Security payments. I don't know, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, which I think was very helpful, even though it couldn't pass, because it holds and binds those people. So yes, I mean, I do think there's some value to it, but it's nominal. I wouldn't exercise, the type of leverage you're talking about to get a vote, particularly on a bill where it's going to lose 300 to 100 or whatever, 310 to 110.
Well, it's not even about that. It's about getting concessions that might not be necessarily policies. Like, for example, you have brought up this idea of getting committee assignments multiple times. So why are they not working to get better committee assignments for, I don't know, say the next congressional cycle?
I hope they are.
Well, don't you think it's a bit of an issue?
In fact, I would argue that maybe AOC sending money to moderate and even conservative Democrats was part of that.
You'd argue
So
it?
you think that instead of leveraging their power, they should just be giving the
What
money?
power, dude? There's 6 votes.
What power?
Yeah.
I just
They
listed
could stop a
multiple
vote.
votes
They have
that
the power
passed
to
in the
stop a
House with
vote.
very slim
They have the
margins.
power to hold up a vote, man.
Such as the
That's
Capitol Police
it's
and
already
Security
been
Fund.
If they
played.
sink those bills, what do you think they get?
If they sink those bills, they could get the concessions you were just referring to, and you said that you think maybe they got by giving money to DCCC Democrats. That's what you just said.
God, it's so
It doesn't work
crazy.
that way, Jackson.
So you have to pay $5,000 to 32
You have to at
different
least try,
DCCC
man.
candidates to get anything done?
I mean, it greases the wheels. Yeah.
It greases the wheels. So what if I told you instead of playing softball politics and greasing the wheels, which is
What is softball
don't
politics?
interrupt me. You've
What does that
interrupted me
mean?
so many
What do you
times. Sam.
mean? I don't care.
Interrupted
Don't
me
cry
so
about
many
it.
times throughout this entire debate.
Listen, I don't
You
care.
interrupted me so many
I
times.
don't
I
care.
let you talk. Now let
I
me
don't
talk.
care.
What if I told you
I don't
instead of
care.
greasing-
Things
I
that
don't
mean
care.
anything. Softball
'Cause I'm
politics. What does that
losing.
mean?
I don't care
What
because
does
I'm
softball
losing.
politics
Okay,
mean?
let me be specific. Softball
Please.
politics is giving $160,000 to DCCC Democrats when she said she was not going to do it. Please don't interrupt me. Hardball politics would be, say, blocking the State Department and USAID 12% funding increase or blocking the Capitol Police and Security.
And what happens after you vote no on that?
You vote no on it and you block the bill from passing. And because these are things that the Democratic establishment really wants passed, you get concessions to vote for those policies. That's hardball politics.
What are you talking about? What vote for what policies?
Vote for no, I said getting concessions. And when I
You
say
don't
voting
think
for
he's going to
policies,
retaliate against her?
no, I'm saying getting concessions.
Dude, his
to vote
chat-
for
the
policies
chat
that
is
they
so
voted
funny
for
right
without any
now.
concessions, like the
Jackson's
increase in Capitol
chat
Police and security
It's
funding.
just
What
blowing
would
up.
you do? What would you change in that Capitol Police funding that you think that they should have changed in that bill?
Well, I don't think that we should have given an increase to Capitol Police. and
Apparently he
security.
doesn't
You
care.
think
Hey,
they
look,
should vote no
Sam,
again?
here's the part you're missing.
that's a power chip
It's not
AOC
about
can play when she
necessarily
doesn't get her
what they
way.
can change in that bill.
Give me some samples.
about
I can't read it.
blocking that bill until they get a concession for something that substantively
My end.
benefits the agenda.
What is this something that you're talking about?
You've listed numerous examples on your show because you said Medicare for all is not a good ask. So what if we did this, that, or the other? There's a whole host of things.
Why
I'm
do you
not a member of Congress.
But I don't understand. It's not a member of Congress. You seem to know how it works, Jackson. But you can't even articulate one thing that they're supposed to be asking for.
$15
That's
minimum
how.
wage.
Okay,
Better committee
so
assignments.
they
Better
say,
committee assignments.
I'm not
Better
going to vote.
committee assignments.
Okay, the committee assignments come out at the beginning of the year, and we'll find out about that
Don't you think that they would say when they're receiving all the criticism?
in the next
voted
session.
to increase
My
the
internet-
Social
Let me walk
Security
through this.
because we got this.
I'm voting against. You want my vote. You want my vote, Nancy Pelosi, for the State Department increase by 12%. And I'm going to withhold that vote unless we have a vote on Medicare for all and the 100 people who are against it vote for it.
And
I don't
you said that was a
understand.
good idea at the time.
No, Jackson, I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
I'm asking you, do you still not believe it's a good idea? Because at the time,
Oh
you
yeah,
said it was
no,
a good idea.
I very quickly said it wasn't a good idea.
So
Very
what-
quickly after that
so-
video.
So you said that it was a good idea. You said then very quickly I changed my mind and I thought it was a bad idea. Now you
Right.
cited your reasoning for this because you said you thought it was a part of a Jimmy Dore effort to hate on
No,
the
no, no.
squad.
No,
That's
no,
what
no.
you said. I've seen it
No, I
multiple
said
times.
no.
The question
Jack,
is, you still
wait, Jack,
support
you just asked me.
you still support the fundamental strategy of forcing the vote, right?
Hi,
what
Hippie
are you
Chick.
talking about? Force a vote? No, I do not sell. The idea of forcing a vote on something is stupid.
Yeah, the problem was with vote was made all about a vote, Jack.
Shut up. I'm debating Sam. So you
Yeah,
don't
shut
think-
up, I'm debating Sam.
Hey, don't say that.
You don't
No,
think
fuck
that
you.
progressives should
I want you to
leverage their power?
apologize.
No,
You don't
fuck
think
you.
progressives should
No, you
leverage their
haven't
power?
been-
Fuck you. It's a
Say that.
debate between you and
I
Sam
think progressives
Cedar.
should leverage
You
their
fucking
power,
pussy.
yes.
So that's called forcing
Let
the
your
vote.
little buddy sit out of the
No,
debate.
it's not.
You just said 1 minute ago that I don't want to use the phrase forced vote. I want to use the
Jackson,
phrase
you guys
leverage
made
their
that
power.
up.
Oh, now they're
You
all
guys
ganging
made
in
that
there.
Different.
Now they're all jumping in there.
Because it's what you use your leverage for, Jackson. Okay? Look,
They're
I don't
all
wanna get into
feeling it.
How you, it's
They
how you
all
exert
feel
that
it. They don't know what to do, so they're all jumping in, making Sam look
So the
really
substance doesn't
bad.
matter?
Shut up,
Substance
Emma.
of how-
you
what
dumb
strategy
cunt.
you employ
Jesus,
to leverage your
fuck.
power. That's
It's
what
okay,
matters.
Jackson. I'll call her a
You
cunt.
think
It's
Yeah,
okay.
it's
I'll
just
call her a cunt.
leveraging their power,
You don't have to
they
do it.
should
I'll do it.
donate $160,000 to D-Triple-C Democrats.
Okay. I think contributing money to people gets them to vote your way. I think there are different things that you can do to build
Look
a
at the chat.
coalition, to pass legislation, to materially benefit.
And what
Now,
happens when you
I
have
don't
that
know
coalition?
if
What happens when
I
you
don't
have that
know.
coalition?
I don't know if you would have gotten those corporatists who wanted the salt reductions and et cetera, to vote for Build Back Better or to sign off on a provision to, let's say, have expanded child care or whatever it is, had they not built those bridges. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know for sure. We're not privy to those conversations. You can say, I don't think it's a good strategy to, and I can tell you this,
Sam
the reason
lost.
why Steny Hoyer is the
Hashtag
whip
Sam lost.
of the
They should start
of the
that trending on
caucus, of the
Twitter.
Democratic caucus, is because Steny Hoyer gets all this corporate money that he doles out. He doesn't have to do much fundraising for himself.
We're not talking
But
about Steny
around the
Hoyer.
country, what goes around the country, and he builds support for things by
We're not talking about
donating
Steny Hoyer.
money to different congressional candidates. And so, is there value for the number one fundraiser, who happens to be a progressive, to wield that same type of power? My answer is yes, definitively.
So
I point
that-
to you
that's
exactly
very
where
interesting.
that power pays
That's
off.
very interesting.
No, I cannot.
That's very interesting because earlier on in this debate, you quite literally said I had a problem.
Everyone heard the debate, Jackson. It'll be on video. You don't have
You
to
said
keep.
I had a problem. You don't want to talk about this. You said I had a problem with AOC donating $160,000 to D-Triple-C Democrats when she said that she wasn't going to. So my question is, you just said a
No,
moment
I
ago.
had that
you
problem,
just said,
Jack.
You just
I
said a
had
moment ago. You
No,
just
he
a
said
moment
we
ago
did.
that the squad.
I have the problem.
Whatever.
You just said a moment ago that there
People can
is-
look at the video, Jackson.
Okay,
Whatever.
I'd love to. You just said a moment ago that there is the potential for factions to form in Congress, and those factions can leverage their power. Did you not?
I don't know if I said that, but I agree with that statement.
Okay, so if you think that that is possible, and if the explicit goal of the Justice Democrats was to do just that, and if the reality of this session of Congress is they could have blocked certain votes that were, in my opinion, bad, maybe in your opinion, I don't know what you think about those votes, but they could have blocked those votes to get concessions in return. They haven't done that. Don't you think that that is a failure of their strategy?
In general, no. I think that if they got no, because you're not giving me a specific instance, and I don't. There are votes that they may be for or against. I don't know.
So
I
Sam,
told you there were votes that
I actually
I
respect
disagree
you more. I actually respect you more after this debate than I initially did coming into the debate, because you said on multiple occasions, like when I brought up the sanctions,
He's tearing up.
when I brought up the sanctions, when I brought up other issues that I had disagreements with them on, with the exception of the State Department and Capitol Police funding, you actually said that those were bad things, that you disagreed with what they did, and in some cases, but not all, you criticized them. But what you still fail to recognize is that the explicit strategy that the Justice Democrats ran on, which was to create those factions and essentially be a thorn in the side of the Democratic establishment, kind of in a way in
No,
which
the Justice Democrats said explicitly that our job is to be a thorn.
You're interrupting me
Not-
as many times as you said Jimmy Dore during the Brianna Joy Gray debate. I wasn't done. So they were to be a thorn in the side of the Democratic establishment.
You know what?
They have
To
not done that.
run on being a thorn in the side of the Democratic establishment is literally for children.
Or the People's Party. Go win some races.
Like I want material benefits for people. And if that means that they stroke the Democratic establishment or they are thorn in it, I don't care about that. That's for children. That's
It's
what
not for
children.
It's
No,
not
I
for
don't
children,
care
because
about the establishment.
Sam,
Mommy, daddy, this. Who
Sam,
cares?
by
I
not
want
being
them
a thorn
to
in the side of
provide
the establishment,
material
by not being a
and-
thorn in the side of the establishment, they actually hurt themselves. Because
I-
by donating, yes, they did. By donating to the DCCC candidates who were going to be challenged by progressive primary candidates, they have essentially ruled out the odds of those progressive primary candidates challenging the DCCC
Which progressive,
in this
which
next election
progressive
cycle.
candidates?
What?
Which progressive candidates were running against those?
Ava Patsova is the one that comes to mind. Arizona's first district. She was going to run against one of these DCCC candidates.
Who was the candidate that AOC gave to that Ava Petrova was going to run against?
What's that? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Who was the candidate that AOC gave money to that Ava Petrova was going to run against? And what was Petrova's chance of winning?
The candidate that she gave money to was whoever represents the first district. It's Tom O'Halloran. He's a corporate Democrat. Ava Patsova she ran against him in I believe she ran against him in 2020, and then she was going to run against him again. She did very well. She didn't even have, I believe, She didn't even have Justice Democrats backing at that time. But the question is, why is AOC?
Oh, wait, the AOC gave money to a candidate that Justice Democrats are running against?
No, I said that I don't think she was actually endorsed by Justice Democrats in that race, but there was the potential for her to be endorsed by them in the next race. She wrote an article in The Intercept. I suggest you read it. It's really interesting. But Sam, the question is not about the odds or the likelihood. No one thought AOC was going to beat Joe Crowley. She had no backing. She had no odds of winning, and she still won. Now imagine if there was that apparatus of AOC and the progressives behind Ava Patsova, who is a convincing candidate, who is respected by many of these progressive institutions, who did write an incredible article in The Intercept about this. Don't you think that there are some more Ava Patsovas out there who could have challenged DCCC corporate candidates that AOC donated to before primary even took place?
I mean, it's possible.
It's possible, and that's called softball politics or greasing the wheels, as you put it. And that's why I think it's a failed strategy, because they are actually hurting themselves, their broader movement of establishing a larger faction.
Now, do you still think that they are the vanguard of fascism in this country? Because if they are actually to help themselves, their strategy, that would be sort of problematic if you think they're fascists, right?
I'm not talking about helping themselves. I'm talking about fighting for the agenda that they campaigned on and utilizing the strategy that they said that they were going to.
It's awesome to look at Sam's chat because they all support Sam blindly.
According to that,
he's got 4,000.
Just had about
4,500 viewers. Jackson's got 800 on YouTube.
Well, I think they're probably doing both.
If they were doing both, don't you think that they would have blocked any number of those policies?
No.
Why?
I mean, I don't know what any number of those policies you're talking about, but you're
trying to list those policies. You said Jackson stop listing policies.
You're conflating electoral strategy with legislative strategy.
Let's just take three in particular. The speakership votes, this Department of State and USAID 12% funding increase, and the Capitol Police vote. Let's just take those three. Those are three examples in which they could have leveraged power.
They could have, or they could have just voted against it.
Or they could have just voted against it. Yeah, I mean, there's more that I have here. I have 18 listed. And each one,
Like, so for instance, for the speakership, they may have felt like, well, okay, we cannot vote, but ultimately we're going to have to. I mean, you just said yourself, the precedent was that they end up land on Pelosi. So Pelosi.
Well, what if I told you that there potentially could have been other options? You could vote for anyone. They could have voted for Barbara Lee if they wanted to. I mean, John Boehner served Speaker 2011 to 2015. He got more, Republicans elected since 1928. And he had popular support until the Tea Party came along and they forced him out. He had to retire before he even did another speakership election because he knew he was going to lose. So why couldn't the squad have done something like that?
Who was the other candidate? Barbara Lee didn't want to run.
Anyone could have run. It doesn't matter. Anyone could have run.
They didn't.
Why didn't they?
This is Sam.
I don't know, but they didn't.
Chat.
No one, after 12 votes in your scenario,
Yes.
Nancy Pelosi knows she's going to get elected.
No, it's because Sam, if you don't think that at a time when 75% of Americans wanted Nancy Pelosi to step down as speaker, she has record low approval rating, that people are not going to coalesce around a movement to get a new speaker, then you're delusional because that is what would have happened.
What?
And even if, Sam, this was the idea behind force the vote. Even if it eventually, after 13, 15, 18 rounds, ended up with Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House, they still would have been able to get concessions because of the spectacle they would have drawn by delaying and already unpopular politicians, rise to the speakership position.
So there was a movement afoot in the country, presumably by Democrats, to get a different Speaker of the House other than Nancy Pelosi. That's what you're telling me. And the spectacle created would have magically gotten them the ability to get whatever they want. Like the spectacle almost of like forcing the Republicans to filibuster a Voting Rights Act.
I'm talking about
that's 38.5. Yeah, Dapper. Let's go up, baby.
On women's suffrage in 1918. And because of the mass public appeal that was drawn after the introduction of that vote in the House floor debate it started, within 1 year, we achieved women's suffrage in this country. That's what I'm talking about.
I see. It would have been like women's suffrage to get what?
It's the strategy. It's not the fact that you have a major...
Oh, it was just a coincidence that it was about women getting the right to vote. It had nothing to do with the success of that.
Hey. Did I or did I just not list John Boehner and the Tea Party as an example? I don't only cherry pick my examples. I mean, I just listed the Republican Party as a beautiful example of how the strategy could be employed.
How there was somebody to run against Boehner.
Sam, the idea is you delay and you potentially find someone to run against Nancy Pelosi. It doesn't matter if there's someone who wants to run.
That day,
Sam,
somebody would have decided that they're going to vote.
Do you understand how a speakership vote works?
Yeah, I understand how the speakership vote, but you just told me there's no chance of
anyone, right?
Yeah, but
so you realize that there were Democrats who voted for other Democrats who weren't actively pursuing the speakership?
Are you telling me that there was another candidate? Who was that candidate that was going to win? See, this is what's so stupid about this obsession with this. So you're telling me after the 12 vote, Nancy Pelosi gets the speakership.
Sam.
But she knows she's going to get the speakership, but that's still going to force a vote because it happened with suffragette, with women's right to vote.
So why did some? If you have to have,
I just said in the chat, Sam seems frustrated. Just saying.
Jackson,
why did some Democrats vote for other? Why did some Democrats?
I don't get.
Some Democrats vote for other Democrats who weren't actively pursuing the speakership. If that's the case,
they can.
Oh, okay. So that's super interesting because you were saying that they couldn't employ the strategy because there was no one who was actively pursuing.
So these 6 people would have voted for somebody else.
You know that there was someone who even voted for, I believe, Tammy Duckworth, who's not even in the House.
How did she win?
Okay, they could, of course, they could vote for somebody else, but they're not
okay.
going to win.
Interesting. Because a minute ago, you
But
just
did
said,
that person
well,
vote for Tammy Duckworth
no one else
and
pursuing
all the
the speakership.
concessions they wanted?
You were just saying no one else was pursuing the speakership.
Oh, Jesus Christ! All right. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you want to keep litigating this force the vote a year later. It's a failed.
It's not a year later, Sam. There again, I listed 18 different times.
I said frustrated, Sammy boy,
in which they could have, as you put it, leveraged their power on given votes by blocking the passage of them. That's force the vote in a nutshell. And you're saying that force the vote was just during the speakership vote.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this is honestly like
I don't know what to tell you. You accused me earlier of being the guy who gets too attached to politicians. You are the one who gets politicians and refuses to criticize them where it matters most. Sure, you'll occasionally talk poorly when they make an abhorrent vote, but you will not criticize them on their overall strategy, which is pursuing a greasing of the wheels rather than playing hardball politics and leveraging their power.
I just don't make the assessment of their power like you do.
It's not making an assessment. It's looking at how closely
their
these
job,
votes passed
Sam.
and knowing that they had enough.
It's their
people
job
block
to
their
pass
passage.
legislation, bro.
Well, in some instances, maybe they didn't want to block their passage. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Then what's the point of the Justice Democrat not going to? And it's not necessarily about blocking. It's about delaying in some cases. What is the point about the Justice Democrats if they're not doing what they set out to do?
They're the most progressive members of Congress.
Is that the bar you want to set them to? That's the bar you want to judge them upon.
They do nothing for you. What good is it if they're progressive or not? If they do nothing for you.
I think that's, I mean, what about the squad was not in Congress? Did you actively support Nancy Pelosi because she was one of the most progressive in Congress?
I supported Bernie Sanders.
What about the House? I'm talking about the House. We're talking about the House.
I mean, I didn't perceive Nancy.
Would you be
Pelosi
frustrated
as
if
the
you couldn't
most
win,
progressive
right,
member.
Nick?
At one point, I thought she was the best when I know you watched the Ilhan Omar
That was weird.
interview. You didn't quite fully understand the leadership conversation, but I think that she was implying that you don't really. The leadership position should not necessarily be about whether they're progressive or not. I think it's really more about the amount of power that you can amass amongst the caucus.
So Sam,
And
when you
six
talk
people-
about power in the caucus,
or sophomore members of Congress, 6 members of Congress just don't have that kind of power.
So
God,
they do have that type of power.
Well, getting rid of Boehner, you're talking
They
about
do have
Sam's
that type
just
of power,
patently
Sam.
false
who
what
were
he's
secret-
saying.
who were secret
It
members
doesn't
of
even
this
make sense.
caucus.
He's just
You
lying.
just don't have that kind of power yet.
First of all,
I told you he was going to say that.
At the time was much bigger than what we
Now's
see
not
today,
the time.
And the squad has multiple opportunities, 18 again that I've listed, and must pass bills or near must pass bills in which
required their vote.
Slim that it
required their vote. They wanted it.
Must-pass bill is
Come on,
something that
Sam's
either
playing
must
dumb.
pass to continue with the session of Congress, such as a adoption of House rules, speakership, House vote, or the near must-pass bills that I was referring to are things that are a top priority of the Biden administration to pass to solidify his legacy.
I mean, the must-pass bills would be something like a debt ceiling or something.
Sure. Avoiding government shutdowns.
Yeah.
There's been probably, I'd say, 6 or 7 of those.
Okay, now, and your argument is that if they inhibited the passage of this bill, they'd be able to get stuff each time.
Yes, that's how politics works in Congress. This is what Republicans and Democrats have done for years. This is how it works.
So in other words, like when I don't know, like Lynn Cheney, for instance. Liz Cheney, sorry. Like when she bucks them and they reward her, is that it? She gets stuff from the Republican Party.
I think it's a little bit of a different makeup with Liz Cheney in the Republican Party.
I'm just you're telling us exactly.
Well, you're speaking vaguely. You're speaking vaguely. I'm talking about specific votes.
Dude, why aren't they
go
updating the
You're
goddamn
speaking
channel
about
numbers?
bucking the GOP establishment on maybe a talking point, or I don't maybe an
Maybe it's stuck
impeachment.
on the
Are you
same
referring to?
numbers.
I don't know what you're referring to.
I have to refresh the page to find out how many people are watching.
Commission.
Well, the difference is Liz Cheney doesn't. In some cases, she has been able to whip even Democrats to block, some of the MAGA agenda, such as when Trump wanted to remove troops from. He wanted to do a partial removal of troops from Germany and Afghanistan. She whipped together even one of my own former congresspeople, Mike Levin from California's 49th district, to vote in unison with a plurality, I guess, of Republicans on that measure to block Trump. And it succeeded. But the difference between Liz Cheney and the squad or the Justice Democrats, whatever, is that the Justice Democrats have a set ideology. They campaign to form a faction and essentially leverage their power to carry out, their agenda, or to get concessions that flow in line with their agenda. So my problem is they are not doing this. And the votes that they are passing are votes that I, entirely disagree with, such as those sanctions I mentioned, such as Capitol Police funding, the Israel Iron Dome vote. The Israel Iron Dome vote is not one of those because that passed by such overwhelming margins,
And you wanted to debate me on this because you want me to have the same agenda that you have.
No, I want you to hold the squad to what they said they were going to do and what they said they were going to fight for.
Dude, people are hashtagging
Like,
Sam
what is
Lost in the
your,
chat.
What is your preferred method?
Look,
of
hashtag
holding the
Sam
squad
Lost.
accountable, when they continue to not
I'm
fight for their
trending,
agenda
baby.
by pursuing
I'm
the strategy of
trending,
leveraging
baby.
their power.
If it makes sense to primary them, I would primary them. But I don't think it's worth the deployment of resources per to primary the most progressive members of Congress.
Okay, so at what point do you maybe begin to think that instead of continuing to operate within the confines of the Democratic Party and primarying more people and ending up with the same results, that you need something else?
Another Sam Lost, another hashtag Sam Lost in the chat.
I was trying to get to, because really, if you
Fucking
think
Sam
that
Lost is now trending on
the
Twitter.
progressive Democrats in Congress are the
Watch this. I'm going to say it.
the vanguard of fascism. If you think that they are worthless, then you think the entire Democratic Party is worthless. And what you're really coming on to argue is that we should be supporting.
Sam
a
Lost
third
is now
party.
trending on Twitter. I said in
When
Sam's.
came on to
I said that in
argue-
Sam
when I
Cedars
came
chat.
on to argue, Sam,
I-
what I came
I-
on to argue is the fact that the only
Democratic
time that
All
you defend
I
the
care
squad
about
nowadays is when you make
what
videos about Jimmy
is
Dore, and you
Dude,
know
look how many
that those
people are
the only
hashtagging
videos
Sam
that get
Lost.
views. So
I'm
you
sorry.
make these videos about
I
Jimmy
tweeted that
Dore
shit like
and
10
trying
minutes
to
ago.
attacking the squad, and you defend the squad, and then the only reason why you do this, though, I think, is because you want to do a hit piece on Jimmy Dore.
Another
And
Sam.
even though your
Dude,
channel has
look.
over 1 million subscribers.
Sam Lost.
your
Sam
only
Lost.
videos that get
Hashtag
views
Sam
are
Lost,
ones about
bro.
Jimmy Dore and when you defend the squad and so on and so
I'm
forth.
so fucking happy.
In other words, in
I
other
finally
words,
got
you
something
wanna come
trending.
on and debate about
Sam holds a major stake in Lefty YouTube, as do the Young Turks. That's why I am invested.
Well, I don't get views. I mean, so I don't know why you say I have a
You
stake.
get a lot of views. I just said though, you get a lot of views on the videos in which you go after Jimmy Dore for criticizing the squad.
Well, we should probably do more Jimmy Dore videos. But that aside, is that what you want to come on to debate? That you don't like the idea that I'm doing Jimmy Dore videos?
Sam, I don't know how many times I have to say what I came on to debate. You refuse to actually hold the squad accountable. And you said maybe at one point,
Goes
I
right
am
back.
going to support primarying them, but I don't think that's the best,
You got your trail,
way
Cheryl
to
James.
leverage
Right
our
on,
power
buddy.
and
Enjoy it.
resources. But I guess I would just pose the question because, I don't support primarying the squad. I don't support primarying Democrats right now because I think
What?
that
Why?
because I think that the Justice Democrats are a failed strategy and they're choosing to play party politics and pass the DNC's agenda.
Also, you just think that we should vote for third party candidates.
I think that there's other avenues we need to look into, but what I think we all need to come
Well,
to.
what are those other avenues? Why?
Sam,
About this conversation.
Sam, what I think we all need to come into agreement upon is that the Justice Democrats, their strategy has failed, and the squad is now towing the line of the DNC. That's something that you still refuse to acknowledge, address, or even attempt to hold them accountable.
Hashtag Sam
I disagree.
Lost, dude.
You've
If
already
it trends
stated
on
that
Twitter,
you
I'll laugh my
consider
ass
them
off.
More progressive than the Gottheimers and the Mansions of the party.
I disagree with you. You just said that you will occasionally call them out for some of the bad votes they take. There were some that I mentioned that you did not call them out over, which is okay. I don't expect you to follow like every single detail, congressional votes. But at the end of the day, you are not criticizing them for failing upon their overall strategy of forming a faction that can leverage their power in Congress. And you are instead giving them some, at least tepid support for greasing the wheels and giving $160,000 to DCCC Democrats.
Correct.
So that's why I guess you and I just disagree.
Yeah.
Would you support AOC giving more money to DCCC Democrats, even though she said she wasn't going to do that?
If she made an assessment that there was a strategic value for
DCCC.
I would.
I don't know what that means.
I would be okay with it.
Even if there's more opportunities to leverage their power on must-pass or near must-pass bills?
I don't agree with your premise.
What don't you agree about it? Because do you agree that they don't have the number of votes?
Again, over and over again. I don't.
No, you haven't outlined yet.
Effective is effective.
You don't think that they have enough votes, or what?
I just don't think it's going to go down the way you think it's going to go down, Jackson.
What do you mean by that?
I don't think.
I just want to know how many people are viewing, guys, but I don't want to refresh the
how
pages.
Congress works.
It is how it's worked in the past. I mean,
That's
this is how Congress
4474
works.
on Sam Cedar.
Yes, I understand.
No, I wasn't going to bring that up. I was going to bring Boehner up. But the
Maybe
idea
you agree.
is that if maybe this has never happened before in Congress. Maybe, hey, Sam, maybe this has never happened before in Congress. Don't you think that they should at least try? Because this was their
When you were
strategy.
in junior high.
That's
I don't want to talk about junior high.
Okay,
This is very,
triple
this
C.
is
Thank you.
very weird. I don't
I
want to.
can tell you.
This is
I
very
can
weird.
tell
I don't
you.
want. What are you doing
No, I
talking
can
about
tell
junior
you.
high?
If
I'm
I
talking
look
about the
at
fact you
young
changed
men,
subjects.
there was
You're
not
changing
4
subjects.
members- there
You
was
are
not
changing
4
subjects.
sophomore members of Congress who eliminated John Boehner.
You are
Okay.
changing subjects.
No, you brought up John Boehner. You brought up John Boehner.
And
10
then you
minutes
went to
ago.
this weird analogy about my middle school or
It's
something.
not an analogy.
What I'm talking about is
That's
the
not
fact
what
that
an analogy is.
you still have not outlined it. You still have not said.
Very carefully what happened to John Boehner, and then none of it went down the way you say it did.
Okay, first of all, that's incorrect. But second of all, you did not acknowledge what I initially questioned to you.
Which was what?
I mean, maybe if you listened, you'd heard me. What I said was that the squad could have blocked the passage of these bills. You have not contested that they didn't have enough votes to block or delay them.
Voted against it, yes.
Block or delay. Okay, so you're saying they could have done this.
They could have voted against it.
They could have blocked or delayed it, yes. So why do you think that that would have failed? Even if it's never happened before in Congress?
They could have voted against it, and if they had enough votes to kill the bill, they could have killed the bill.
Or they could have delayed it and renegotiated.
What do you mean delayed it?
They could have told Nancy Pelosi that we are not going to vote for this unless you give us substantive concessions. They could have gone out on CNN and MSNBC on Mehdi Hassan show and say, I'm not prepared to vote for this bill.
Dude, how
until we
many
get these
people are watching
concessions that we have
Jackson,
listed."
dude? It's going
Don't you think
crazy.
that is an effective strategy? And don't you think that's also the strategy
look it up
that
on my
the Justice
phone.
Democrats initially ran on?
I think that could work on occasion, but I think that Nancy Pelosi,
Okay,
for the most part, is beloved by Democratic voters, for better or for worse.
that's incorrect. She's got a very, very low approval rating. But if you
Yeah.
Let's
just
wonder what Democratic primary voters
Google
do.
this up.
Let's
Put
look
it
it
up.
up. man.
Sam, you just
Let's do a
acknowledged.
little fact check for you, Jackson.
I just said she had a low approval rating. Did you not
No,
hear what I
with
just said?
Democratic primary voters.
Go,
I'm
put it up.
talking about the whole of this country. But Sam, you just said, Sam, I don't want to let you off on this. You said,
Bradley, will you look that up and put it
look it up. I could not, I don't care. So you just said that on occasion you could see how leveraging their power by either withholding their votes for a given policy could work. So why are you not criticizing the squad when they choose not to do this?
I don't think that they should do it randomly.
I didn't say randomly. I just said they could do it. And you just said that.
Jackson, there was a $3.5 trillion bill that was passed in the House that included some of the key priorities that these lawmakers wanted. And you're suggesting they're not leveraging their vote because it didn't pass in the Senate.
No, I'm saying because they are voting for bills that did pass in the House and in the Senate and were signed into law, and they are not withholding their support for those bills, like
1,700 watts. That's 600 views.
You said it. You just said it. You just said it. You just said that the value. You just said that the Sam. You just said that the value in it. This is your words. That the value in it.
1,700 people watching on Jackson's channel.
Sometimes working. You said that.
Listen.
Jackson. How many times do you want to change the subject before you finally address that you're not holding them accountable? Sam, you are not holding them accountable.
5,000 people watching on Sam's channel.
And they got it.
You just said that they could do that, though.
The Fed's talking now?
Yes, I agree that there is such a thing as leverage and they can be used, and I'm suggesting they've done it.
I'm suggesting to you that they haven't done it because they haven't withheld their votes. You're saying that the Build Back Better agenda is their agenda. Build Back Better agenda is Biden's agenda. That's not even their agenda.
How do you know they didn't withhold their votes and Nancy Pelosi didn't go to him and say, "Oh, you won"?
And that's why they're not going harder at him like you suggested up top.
I don't think that they're doing that because if they were doing that, if they were going to be withholding their support, they would do what Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman did before the speakership vote. Do you remember what they did? They went out on, was it Dana Bash's show or something like that? They went out on some corporate news show and they said that we are not going to guarantee a vote for Nancy Pelosi.
Why do you put an accent on there? Oh, because it's
I'm putting an accent on there? What the hell is this? We are not going to be voting for Nancy Pelosi guaranteed unless we get substantive things in return. And they listed two things, I think. I think they listed reparations and they listed one other policy. Not coalesce and try to make these things happen. But that is what you need to do if you have big asks or you have, concessions that you want. You need to be willing to make a public cry to the people to support you in your effort. You've also acknowledged that AOC has some of the most power in Congress. She's got the most fundraising. She's got the most Instagram, Twitter followers.
Twitter followers. Okay.
So she should use that to her leverage when she makes these public cries for support.
Someone just said in the chat, this is exhausting. I agree.
For these bills.
I got stuff I got to do. How long is
What
this
do you
thing?
mean okay? What is this okay? You have one of the largest news shows on YouTube for leftist politics, and you refuse to criticize them. You just say okay. You say I don't care. What is this? Do you not have any values that you stand upon?
No, he said. Wow. This is Sam. Sam's just giving up.
We done?
Let's be done.
75% Democrats support Nancy Pelosi.
Sam surrenders.
I'll have a lot of value in the primary.
I'm not terribly happy about that.
Hashtag Sam lost.
But to be fair, that was 2 days ago, so that could have changed. That's pretty much a straight
Maybe
line.
once they hear about forced the vote, it'll dip.
I think to a certain extent,
did I say that she has net negative opinion in the Democratic Party? Did I say that?
I don't.
Or are you putting words in my mouth again?
Honestly, I stopped listening to you some time ago.
Oh, what an asshole! I stopped listening to you.
But I appreciate
maybe. Hey Sam, last words here. Maybe listening to the people who used to be your viewers and used to be your fans like me.
Wow.
Should be something that you do in the future.
Wow.
Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate the conversation. And I'm sure this. What's that?
Not only are you still a viewer, but you actually show it to the people who watch your show.
Right.
So
I'm not a fan of you anymore, though. That's the difference.
That's the
Oh.
difference.
Oh, Jesus,
I'm
my
sorry
heart.
about that.
His heart's broken.
Listen to
That's from,
her.
what, the week?
She's like a little girl at the bus
I
stop.
appreciate you coming on, Jackson. I'm
All
sorry,
right.
you know,
I'll see you guys.
It's like nasty little girl at the bus stop.
All right, you guys. We fucked that shit up. That was an easy dub. Fucking dub. What are we now? 6-0? 6-0, I believe.
He never responded to the fascism thing.
All right, let's go tweet this shit out.
Never ever
Or the fact that he thought that there's
the
no
leadership.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
that's true.
I don't care.
Well, I think we learned something.
I'm gonna turn
What's the vote equals
When
leverage?
was Infanimite?
Matt, why are you muting me? I can't need to turn my camera back on.
Oh God,
How dare
I'm
you.
sorry,
Spam
people.
this
I
in the
know.
chat
I
right
know. I'm very sorry about that.
I had to.
People
My
are
camera
really
is
mad.
still not working. But go retweet that. Bro, do you understand? I'm literally crippled right now. I don't have a
Let's go,
fucking
Jackson.
camera.
Says
They
John.
muted me. They went 3-on-1 on me. They had fucking
Microphone
Matt Leach and
specialist,
Big Lip and
long-time
Sam all
majority report
debating
member
me,
here.
and
I'm
I
laughing
still
very hard.
fucking
Poor Jackson.
steamrolled them.
Awesome,
understand?
awesome. That was exhausting.
Listen to him talking
Um,
shit.
John, let's see. Jen Hexer, please be fucking done. I apologize, folks. I couldn't help it. All right, let's read some
They had to
items
go
here and then we'll get out of
3-on-1
here.
on me.
Okay.
They muted
Can
me.
you guys
You
turn me?
acknowledge
I need
you.
to.
Listen,
my
If he wanted me
camera's
to,
turned off.
if he wanted me
I
to
would rather
unmute
not.
myself, why didn't he
Yeah, I
just say
can't turn
so
it off.
rather than making me look like I was doing something when he was the one who muted me and wouldn't unmute me? Like, what the fuck is that? We went 3-on-1. I wish you could see my fucking face right now. We went 3-on-1.
I may not know what you're
They
talking
muted
about.
me.
Says Mark.
I had no camera, and I still fucking smoked them, and Sam doesn't care. He doesn't care. Okay. I don't care. Okay, I don't care. We got 2,100 people watching right now. Be sure to drop a like on this stream. We're still going to be streaming. I'm going to figure out my camera. Hopefully, inshallah. But listen, what the fuck was that shit, bro? What the fuck was that debate? That was the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life, bro. That was easy. That was way easier than the box
Boston
debate.
Public Radio and talk
That
about
was
live
incredible.
show. I bet they love you.
Thank you
Chris
so much,
Ferris,
everyone,
oh
for
my
all the
God, Sam,
super
you gotta
chats
stop
you're sending
giving
in.
platforms to dumb
Appreciate
fucks
all of
like
you.
Jackson.
You're all
My blood
incredible.
pressure
Thank you
can't
so
take
much.
it. Quite frankly, I'm
You
not
guys,
sure
we
yours can
are
either.
6-0
I
on
was
our
surprised
debates
to
now.
see when we,
That
when
was-
we found
That
out who
was
he
crazy.
was, like through
Go
that what
retweet that. Oh,
that I
God.
am.
Shit.
How often? Who's the
What else should we
IMer
tweet?
who asked
Someone
to
give me a tweet.
to the
We need to-
like
we
I
need to
had
farm
no
this
idea how many videos were being done about us by this person.
He's. I mean, I think
He's an attention seeker.
on some level there is a similar dynamic. I think that happened with. He became disappointed in me in the same way that he was disappointed in
Oh,
the
man.
squad.
So that's kind of like a parasocial thing because
Yeah.
it's just
There's
like
a little bit of
it's-
parasocial
Yeah.
quality.
You're too attached to politics. You're the one too attached to politicians now because you don't fix
Looked
it.
like he looked like a
Parasocial.
little fucking bitch. Looked like a little fucking bitch throughout that whole debate. Fucking bitch. Had to go 3-on-1.
Yeah.
Had him on cue at the end, bro. Hot SHT Jack.
This is why you should not debate me. This is why you should not debate me.
You killed it.
Yeah, but I feel like I saw
This
that.
is why you should
more
not debate
recently
me, folks. Because you'll end up like
than
Bosch,
a
you'll
year
end
ago.
up like Sam Cedar.
But I didn't know it was him.
Hashtag
What's with our
left.
debate?
They can't stop
This
talking
is why
about
you should not
Jackson.
debate me. I want everyone tweeting about this debate and how fucking
Dreamboy,
ridiculous
Joseph
Sam
Pryor
Cedar
and
is.
jurisprudence is based on the doctrine
Everyone,
of
I want to see you
drop.
all tweeting about this shit.
Below me, last week on Binder's show, you had a Jamaican libertarian Crowder fan.
He's
calling saying he
muted.
must be
He's
jealous and
muted.
yearning
We
for that.
can't hear him.
Jackson's biggest error is
Shut
that
the
the Dem
fuck up.
leadership says right-handed lefty.
Thank
gives
you
a
so
shit.
much
If
for
the
the-
squad
for the
blocked
super
one of
chats,
these
you guys.
votes, the Dem will
Thank
then
you,
literally
thank you.
war on them upon their next
Jackson
run
is
for
a
office.
master
That's right.
debater.
Bro,
Jackson wants to hike the squad accountable.
this is
saying,
why you
but
should not debate
primary
me.
them? How would
They
you?
just put
Flawless.
your name and picture on their thumbnail wall. Sam really didn't want this ether, and their smug pomposity was disgusting. as
Flawless. Flawless debate. Flawless debates.
You destroyed him. Very well. I tweeted about this. As Syria's finest on Twitter.
Flawless fucking debates. 2,000 people watching. Probably 5 or 6 on his show. Flawless fucking debate.
5,000. So 7,000 people watching total.
Just watch the debate, and I don't see how you won. Just saw you being a weasel the whole way.
You're wrong, but I'll take your money. Send me more criticisms, please.
Right?
Nice work. It's clear that the majority report do not actually care and cannot explain themselves.
Flawless fucking debate. Absolutely flawless.
Emma, cheese.
What the fuck was that? Sorry, what the fuck was that when Matt Leach decided to interrupt? And I was like, shut up. I'm not debating you. And then Sam's like, no.
You
No,
apologize.
you can't say that. I didn't say shut the fuck up. I didn't say you're a Weasley little bitch. I didn't say you're anti-Assange. I didn't go hard on him. I just said shut up. I'm not debating you. But they couldn't shut up. Sam was getting fucking steamrolled, and he had to bring in Emma Vigeland and fucking Matt Leach to try and debate me.
Exactly.
Because he was getting fucking steamrolled because he will not criticize the squad. Because
Exactly.
they still come on his show.
Exactly.
He will not criticize them. He refuses. You know what he says? You know what Sam Seder says? He says, I don't care. I'm Sam Seder. I don't care. You think I care? I don't care. You have the largest one of the largest shows in the country for leftist politics, and you're saying you don't fucking care? You're not going to hold them accountable? You're going to get your entire fucking audience to go out and support the squad when they're fucking us all over? Well, I care about that. I care a lot about that. That's why I'm so pissed off. That's why I cover your dumb fucking show, because all you do is lie on behalf. That's why I care, Sam.
So 87 on the November
Holy
2nd,
shit.
2010 election. 87.
Yes.
Oh,
Who came in the Tea Party sort of
3-on-1?
wave. Yeah.
My camera went out, and I still steamrolled that debate.
Yep. Everybody agrees.
Still.
So incredibly triggered by the truth. Open mouth smile. Open mouth smile. Jackson, why did you mute yourself and blame it on Seder?
Bro, they muted me. They literally muted me. And then they said...
he wasn't muted. We could hear him the whole time.
They said, I told you to unmute. You never said that. Fucking idiots.
All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Thanks for watching. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Absolute idiots. You guys, thank you for the super chats. This stream has been demonetized, so I do appreciate all the super chats and stuff. Thank you so much. You guys are so generous. Thank you.